we should be live. Go get the video link.
I'm seeing it on YouTube. No views. What a loser. All right, let's be professional. Let's mute the stream on my end. Well, geez, now I feel left out. I'm just here like this, and I don't have any kind of cool fucking mask or
Well,
anything.
I was very confused when he said I sounded better after I put this on. So I was like, really? I sound better? Okay.
I am not an audio guy. I think maybe you could use a little improvement, but you don't sound bad.
I'll take it. Let me just get this out on Reddit,
I mean,
Facebook.
it does fix that face problem you've always had, so.
Yay!
Oh, a little slapstick there.
I don't mind. I got a big nose. I'm probably part Jewish and don't even know it.
Probably jokes there that we're not allowed to make anymore, so I'll just leave it alone.
Oh, really? Well, they can't demonetize me. I haven't even monetized
Look,
this channel. Fuck them.
look, I'm monetized and I have tens of dollars at stake every month, so I'm just not gonna risk it.
Tens of dollars.
Yeah, I think I'm at about $15 revenue this month after my
Jesus.
big old strike.
You showed
Oh,
them.
yeah, yeah, I know. You're welcome. I fixed the game.
Woohoo! Wait, did you? Because the game seems pretty fucked to me.
Yeah. Um, but I don't think we talked about we must have done a podcast since the um roadmap came out, but I don't think we talked about it too much.
No,
Um,
I don't think we did go into it too much.
I'm one. We must have, but anyway, I don't know if the new events, like with the plural there, the S on events, I don't know if that's important at all.
Because technically, isn't like the S rank shop now a new event? Because it happened in September. Like I don't know what they're trying to go for
Well,
here.
because there's campaigns, celebrations, and events, and I think they've always. I don't know. I don't think they would consider a campaign or a celebration an event, but if they do, so I mean, if it's not a mistake, which it's very, we still have numbering events as mainline games. Like there's obviously not perfect English, but it could mean the gold week. Sorry, the gold event and dream event at the same time, or it could be whatever they're gonna replace golden week with, or just call it golden week, and maybe they're gonna consider that an event because it's a fairly large celebration.
I'll take anything extra. I just hate content
Amen.
drought in this game.
Yeah. And then this current campaign definitely not designed to go along with we might not have talked about the roadmap because we didn't do this last week. So um but yeah, dude, this last part of the event was definitely not designed to be at the start of campaign.
Isn't it
Uh
great how it works out? It's like, hey, either farm this really good S unit caster or get
yeah.
like double rank up mats. Like, oh,
Oh,
fuck
and
me.
by the way, the last awakening bonus, besides all the normal 5% stuff, 20% spell potency. You can't not farm that.
I'm getting Awakening Plus on him. I don't care about the rank up mats. I'm just like, I will
Uh,
take a couple extra points for like some wisdom, agility, even some MP and HP on him. Nothing crazy, but I'll get a couple
like
of
+1,
boosts.
+2 on each of
Yeah.
them. I don't know. I think it's crazy. I just won't do it. But I've completely stopped doing gem refreshes like at like fine. In fact, well, I was gonna do it tonight. I guess I'll do it tomorrow. I'm just gonna use stamina herbs until I have World Breaker maxed. He's like right at Awakening 4 right now. I think I have 21 copies. So I'll get 19 more copies. I just finished Stones last night. That's a good feeling. Um, and then I'll just do, rank mats the rest of the time.
I mean, you might as well. It's just how much time's left? I mean, what, 2 days on the event?
That's another thing I like about the database. Like it looks like all gobbledygook at the main page, but it gives you a countdown timer to the minute on the campaigns. So sometimes it's a little confusing in game when it says like 2 days left. But right now at 10:20 p.m. Eastern time, we have 2 days and 17 hours. So that will be daily reset on Sunday. It looks like,
And then we should be
which
getting an update about the game. Actually, should be in an hour, like what the next event's going to be. Hopefully,
wouldn't that be tomorrow or Friday night then?
maybe something should be coming soon. Like
I'm
in the
assuming
morning.
that they're like if this event ends on the 11th, which is Sunday, right? Yeah. Yeah, Sunday the 11th. That's when the campaign's going to end. That's when the events end. So that's got to be when we get um you know, dream event. It's got to be dream event.
Hopefully, unless they skip that too and give us something else.
I can't imagine like dream event isn't a campaign. Like it's a full three banner event. So I don't have they ever done a whole like mainline, well, not like main game, but like major, well, I guess Summerfest was out of order, but um yeah, other than Summerfest, they've never switched up, but I mean, yeah, so it is possible.
I just don't know how much further they want to accelerate things along before we're close enough to being with JP.
I tried to beg Malcolm. I know he doesn't have the authority to say, but I tried to bring it up. Like, dude, the player base would be calm down a lot if you would just say like what the plan is. And they're like, well, we're not willing to talk about future events. I'm like, I'm not talking about necessarily future events. Like, tell us what the game plan. Tell us what the end plan is theoretically. Like, what the goal is. You don't need to give us the exact timeline, but like, you want us to be a month behind, a week behind. When are you plan? Like, what are you aiming for? And these game companies, they act like, well, we don't want to put out like guesses. We don't want like, dude, you give set deadlines and miss them all the time. Like, we're not worried. By the way, DQ10 offline was supposed to be released in JP already. That
That
hasn't
never
happened.
happened. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
and
not
it's
happening.
fall. It's weird, but I mean, it's fall now, I guess, right? So
And I just like when companies do the whole, oh, this game's going to release at the end of or in 2022, and then you're looking, and we're in September now, and these games don't have a tentative release date. Are they going to release in September, October,
dude,
November, December? No, probably not. They're going to get pushed back a year.
what's it been? 6 months since DQ Day. Um,
Let's
it's
see.
been a year and a half since there's been, as far as I know, literally any amount of information about DQ3 HD remake. Like
That
that's
got
there's
swept under the rug.
yeah, I mean, because it was literally just the announcement trailer, right?
I mean, they got more than what DQ12 got, which was just a screenshot of a logo with the number.
I've said this before. They have not announced DQ12. Announcing it doesn't mean anything. It's like saying the next Magic set is coming or something like that. Yeah, we know that DQ12 is coming. I don't even trust the title. So as far as I'm concerned, we don't have a title. We don't have literally any information. They're claiming it's going to be dark. Yeah, sure, I believe that. I'm not for or against it being dark, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Actually, Ghost, that's what I'm referring to. I'm waiting to see if we're going to get that One Piece turn-based RPG, and they keep saying 2022, and here we are, almost halfway through September, and no
I
fucking
have seen a
release
lot of
date.
trailers for that game,
I'm
so
excited for it. I think it's going to be better than the other one they did. What was it, World Seeker?
yeah, I've never gotten into One Piece, and it's kind of hard to sell somebody on One Piece now. It's like, oh great, hey, do you have 3 years of free time? Yeah, just catch up on the 1,800 episodes.
I mean, you could spend 3 months reading the manga.
It, is the manga much more? Is the anime like all filler?
The anime has some filler, but I mean, the manga realistically doesn't. The only, I'd say, filler chapters would be when they do a movie and they like go off on a little tangent for like a chapter or two based off of the movie. But that's about
Hmm.
it.
Yeah. Oh, I like the title of the stream, the stream, the episode.
Oh, so how do you feel about not being able to get your account back?
I don't want to make it a big thing, but yeah, it would be cool to get it back because apparently, this is not a shot at him, but the The guy that got my OG account is the guy that got Nib's account for $100. Nibs has wailed hard since coming back, like just casually five hurting things. And the guy that got my OG account that I just gave to because I did not want it to go to waste. That's really all of it. Like there's some I hate to say that I had a connection to it, but like it was the 25th highest CP account when I stopped playing. I didn't want it to go to waste, and so I gave it to a friend of a friend, and then that same person got, got Nib's account for $100. He spent, you estimate, around 7K, I think.
6 to 7, maybe. I would say somewhere in that ballpark.
Because if he ever mentioned how much he spent, you can what double the triple it on any certain
Yeah, I
banner.
mean that's any like even in Platt's Discord, they got this one guy who's really wailing out on Octopath, and he's like even trying to downplay his numbers. But when I did the math and the amount of dupes and everything, I mean the guy's at least 3K deep into the game, and he's like, I put like 600 in, like bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. I've got too many times that I've gone to pity to get one copy of a unit to believe that people are getting Five Awakenings casually with like $500. It's totally very possible, but that's so lucky it's ridiculous.
Enough for you to have me talk you down from quitting like 6 or 7 times, Hutch. That's how much you've spent. I've had to talk this guy down like once a month for the past several months.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's addiction. It sure is. We enjoy it, but this game, it's a like I said. There's better gotchas and there's worse gotchas out there, but I mean, they're definitely this is definitely a predatory game. Like the entire stamina system makes them so much money. I'm not used to that, you know. Dokkan, you can just play as much as you like. The stamina bar goes way further, and you can just refill the whole thing for one gem, the equivalent of 50 gems, and you can do that all day long. There's no limit for the same cost. So I'm not used to stamina mattering really.
I'm used to games where there wasn't enough content to play all day, like Fist of the North Star. After you
Mm,
got to a certain point and you beat all the stages, you just had a couple of dailies and that was it in that game. You didn't have jack
yeah.
shit you could do.
The my hero's strongest hero that was significant. It was a bit worse than DQT and stamina, but also everybody called that game out instantly. Like, wow, this is predatory as fuck. Oh, it's better gotcha, dude. I keep up with news on some gotcha games. Like, there's a gotcha Reddit. Like, it's a hard thing to imagine just being in gotcha. Like that's your favorite kind of game, gotcha. But for me, it is sometimes because I'm so mobile. You know, I'm on the road and stuff like that. But I played Dokkan for 6 years before DQT came out, so I'm very experienced in that one, and it's wildly successful. So like if things that they're doing, you know, if the things they're doing are working, like you know, why not try it? But I just don't want to go into comparing. I know they're not the same games. I know there's an IP difference, but like I know that like they're being overly stingy in DQT.
Well, compensation at the very least, I could say that because I look at what Octopath does for compensation, and you get 100 gems for maybe 2 or 3 hours of extra downtime, whereas that's 1/30th of a pull, and then over an Octo they'll give you 30 gems for like a half hour downtime. Well, that's at least a single pull right there, or 1/10 of a normal pull, or if they do a step up, it's 1/5 of a pull because they do cheaper pulls too. They do like
Mhm.
ones where they do half off. DQT doesn't do any of that shit.
Well, they did do it at least once in DQ2. Sorry, for Japan. Japan, the Prince and Princess banners were half price, the paid ones onlys. Uh, and that's the thing, like, you know, we know what's coming out. Like, we know that DQ3 is coming after Dreams, most likely, or Gold. Like, we know that even though these upcoming banners are really strong, we know that, like, the real, like, amazing shit is just around the corner. And Dokkan knows that too. Dokkan Global, they're like, yeah, this banner is shit. Everybody knows it. Everybody in the community knows it. So we're gonna make it buy three get one free, or we're gonna discount the first three multis. Like it's three half price multis, and then it's like, well, I wasn't gonna summon on this banner, and like the banner unit isn't as good as what's coming next month, and those banners are buy three get one free and stuff. But you put a little discount in there, it's like, yeah, well, I'll do the first rotation, sure. So
Right, because it's cheap and it's not a bad deal. Like Octo, I want to pull for units, so if they do a discount on polls, I'm gonna do the discount because I'm looking for units, not for banner units.
yeah, and it's fun. I don't even like people talk about Dokkan has no pity system. And like a pity system seems like how could it ever be negative? But honestly, it's not fun knowing that you can't summon on banners unless you're willing to go to pity in this game. Like I said, in the end, it's really good for whales. It's even more amazing. Uh, Believe me, Dokkan whales would kill for a pity system. But I don't know. Sometimes it makes it less fun.
Well,
But
knowing you got to spend another 5 pulls so you can get something, so now
yeah.
you're overreaching instead of, well, I didn't know if I was gonna get this in another 5 pulls. I think I'll stop here.
Hmm. Well,
It's
that's
got
what,
its
dude. That's what I.
advantages.
Oh yeah, we haven't done. Dude, I was just being a big fucking idiot. The night that CGM came out, I was like, I'm big dick chase fucking games. Like, I didn't get it with the tickets. Let's just do a multi for fun. And then like, I had around 40,000 gems, and it's like, well, I'll just do another one or two. Like, I don't want to have wasted these gems because the further you go in a banner, if you if you don't get it, if you don't go to pity, you literally wasted your gems. So yeah, I went to pity on CGM, and he's good, but like, dude, I don't think I was gonna summon on Murdaugh, but like, I like Murdaugh more. That AOE sleep is really uh, promising to me. Obviously, Erdrick and Zenlon. Now I've got to pray that, like, I've got an S meeting ticket ready to go, but now I've got to hope that I get lucky on Zenlon or Erdrick with like, scout tickets, the paid ones onlys, and like 10,000, 15,000 gems that I'll have by then.
Oof.
Because I want both. You got to have. I don't know.
Meanwhile, I'm still
It's
pulling here trying to get another awakening on CGM so I can then use the shards and 3 awaken him to kind of like max his capabilities.
Oh, sorry, man. I mean, hey, I can't talk about like making the smart choice right now, but I think chasing dupes is just crazy. You can't do it, man.
Yeah, I'm fucking
Because like I
crazy
said,
then.
everything is good. I mean, you've looked at the future timeline, right?
Oh, it's all promising. It's
There's nothing. The last bad unit we had was Extreme Killing Machine, who I'm sure was just not that bad, but like, dude, Murdaugh's got typeless major spell damage in a 6 square area, move 3, 70% chance to sleep everything in there, okay? Then you got Jamiris, whoosh breath, puts whoosh force on everything around him. Durin, people don't seem to be excited about him, dude, but 50-point Zam physical unit that heals himself with his typeless attack and has Indomitable Spirit. Indomitable Spirit's pretty fucking strong. Gildiga, that's going to be a great counter against Zenlon. Um, then you got, yeah, Erdrick, Zenlon. I think Zenlon's more broken than
But
Erdrick
see, I'm
somehow.
practical here. I don't expect to get half of those units. If I get like 1 or 2 of them, I'll be happy. It's just
What,
not
what
gonna happen.
yeah, what I'm saying is like, dude, it's so easy. If you go for everything, you're gonna get nothing basically. I've had too many times where I've had to go to pity that like I just don't like going on a. I won't go on a banner unless I'm willing to go to pity. Um, and if you're doing that, I mean that's 500 to 700 bucks for every banner.
That a girl, Jen. Set your standards low. You got this. She's
Yeah,
already understanding the game. Just can't expect to get anything.
yeah. But oh, and then so yeah, then after the anniversary, the Sage is pretty fucking awesome. Then Midsummer Jessica. Plus, I mean, waifu titties. You gotta have that. Who cares how
Jesus
strong she is?
Christ.
She's strong. She's just gonna confuse anything that she looks at.
Well, except
Each Angel
men.
Seraphie could go either way. I don't know. We're gonna have to see what she looks like. But I mean, she's got like a big 3x3 area frizz martial attack. So and a heal. Breath resistance. Nothing really does breath resistance to other units. So yeah, like everything coming out is broken.
I guess maybe
So
that's their plan. Instead of acceleration, is to just put out so many units that you need to have them all, and good luck.
mm, yeah, I just like, well, you know, I've gone on about this a couple of times. Like, obviously, everybody comes to me because I'm the smartest guy in the community, and like, I don't know what to tell people. Like, yeah, you get Erdrick, but now I think Zenlon's better. I think everybody agrees Zenlon's better in PvP, if that's what matters to you in GVG and stuff. So like, okay, so you just get Erdrick and Zenlon, potentially 90,000 gems, and then save for value banners, dude. 90,000 gems is what, 5 months of gems at least.
I mean, to be fair, Nibs is the smartest person in the community.
He was the smartest person in the community. You all bow before Chase fucking Games now.
So when are you gonna sell your account for $100?
$75. I'm not going overboard.
God, that whole thing is just funny.
Oh my god. Because I remember I was talking to Pac about it, and I think people agreed to play their cards closer to their chest on this one, but the whole thing has been too funny for anybody. I think people wanted to stay quiet, and they're like, no, it's just too fucking hilarious.
Well, given
Because
the
we're not exaggerating.
situation,
This guy spent at least 5K
at least
and
at
shamed
least
himself
5K.
so badly.
So, given
Yeah.
the situation, everything, and because you're the outsider on this whole thing,
Yeah.
do you think he did it?
Oh, the messages on Reddit.
Yeah.
It's a little too convenient. I don't. I will say this in his favor, though. I would expect him to be a little more eloquent than that, but he is definitely conceited enough for like pure like caricature level of white supremacy. Um, like that was, I don't know, like it was almost too much. Like it, I don't think anybody framed Nibs, but like that it was so vile and evil. It's like nobody actually feels like this anymore, right? I don't know.
Well, I used to do calls for customer service center for military service members, and I can tell you there's some pretty hateful people still out there,
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
next
know.
level racist shit. So
Yeah,
they're
I
out
mean,
there. They're just usually not in his age bracket, though. That's the thing.
yeah, like, look, we can't talk about it, and I'm not gonna. Yeah, you can't even like hint at what most of it was, but like, this wasn't like, hey, N-word or anything like that. This was like the superior master race is gonna like you down kind of like we are the best for our alabaster white skin.
It was
Um,
bad. It was fucking
right.
bad.
So I got to admit, I some people consider this very bigoted now, but like obviously, I don't worry about race stuff that much. Like I think it's reprehensible, but like is that it? Was that the community's last straw? Like besides just what an egotistical asshole he is, like nobody wants to deal with him because of the fact that it was probably him that sent those messages.
I think that was his last straw, but I mean, I couldn't even get him into my guild beforehand because he had 3 separate issues with 3 of my members. He had an issue with Duke, he had an issue with Ghost, who's in the chat, and he had an issue with Long for Bob. And Bob had brought up about white privilege and how his Korean wife in Texas had a lot of problems down there because she lives in Texas, and he, understood what she was going through, and Nibs had a real problem with that. Nibs was not happy about that at all.
Look, I just want to put it on the record that I can't stand Ghost either.
That's fair.
Actually, I know that he's always here. It's funny just talking with you. I try to just give you my attention. It's actually hard to read the chat sometimes and
I could
pay
do
attention to
both.
a conversation. I'm very like one thing at a time, and I'm not very good at that anymore.
See, back when I used to do my other stuff, it was literally a room of like 300 people and spamming content, comments all around and keeping an audience. So this shit, that trained me for this. This is easy. This is like peanut gallery shit now.
Oh, there's no progress here, Ghost. You go fuck yourself.
Yeah, we're not progressive at all. I agree, Foxy. I agree on that comment.
So, oh, but anyway, yeah, so dude, 100, yeah, so, Hutch said, I don't know, they're talking about $100. That's not worth selling your, like, it's not even worth it. Like, I don't know if he thought that that was, like, him being, like, if this was, like, his parting gift isn't the right term, but, like, yeah, like, I guess it is. Like, him just trying to do something nice on the way out, but, like, it's selling your account that you just put, like, 7K in, and not over a year and a half, like, over the last, what, 4 months?
I'd say
Like,
because I mean he just came back. So he got back into Arena Watch, I think, or he got into Arena Watch towards the end of May. So I mean, he started going hard May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, 5 months, 4 or 5 months.
yeah. Oh, and, sorry, Seth is in here saying $100, selling it for 100 means you're less tempted to come back. No, dude, because a guy like Nibs, once that account misses a whole event, it's dead to him.
Yeah, and it hasn't stopped him before. I mean, he literally let his other account fall to the wayside that he put thousands of dollars into, only to come back a year and a half later and buy another account. So it didn't stop this guy at all. It's sad. It is
Ugh.
really sad when you think about it. Like, I could never do that. Like, if I quit a game, I can't tell you how many times I've quit MMOs and other games and I've gone back to them. I want to say the only one I've ever gone back to is like Final Fantasy 14 for the expansions. That's about it. Like, after I'm done with the game, I don't usually see a reason to go back. It's just I'm done. It's over. I want to find a new experience at that point.
Well, you wouldn't understand this, but, I have a Discord full of people that just respect, worship, revere me, whatever combination of those words that you'd like to use, just begging me like, "Oh my God, Chase Games, this game sucks so much without you. You have to come back." And yeah, I got a little nostalgia, so it's like, all right, fine, Messiah will return.
I guess they needed somebody to jerk
That's
off to.
sorry, that's a little. Anyway, yeah. No, I'm honestly that's the reason I don't like quit over Square Enix fucking us all the time is
It's a
I have
community.
a really fun time playing with my guild. Yeah,
Yeah,
most of the community is terrible, but the guys I got in my Discord, they're not
community
too
likes
bad.
me for some reason. I'm an asshole, everybody.
Yeah, calm down a little bit the last month. You're fun now.
Ah, no, I'm still that same asshole. I'm just going at other people now.
You know what? It works for me.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's like leave as long as I'm not bothering you. You don't fucking
Got
care.
bigger fucking problems.
Yeah, we got like Tukey and then all this other shit going on, and he lost his entire sub guild over kicking Pack from his Spanish server. You can't make this shit up.
I didn't keep up too much with that. I watched some of what Pac said on this, and I'm not trying to like Pac's never made a 5 minute video on anything. Let's just put it that way. So it's hard. Like when he made a video about something, I think I got most of it. But um anyway, yeah. Yeah, so apparently Tukey is just a real piece of shit. Didn't realize. I didn't
Ah,
like
he
I
is.
didn't like Tukey because I don't know. I thought that he thought that smoking on screen would make it not obvious that he got stuffed in trash cans in high school. Um, I don't know. He was just super cringe to me. But I mean, you know what? There's been a guide or two that he's put out that I really appreciate. So I appreciate that he's a content creator and does the tough stuff. I'm never gonna be that guy. You know, my Blossom Door videos are me saying like, "Look, this is me following somebody else's guide, and I just voiced it." That's me doing a guide on something.
And just for the record, to correct Chase, Tukey was homeschooled. I don't think he would have ever survived high school dressed like that. Just want to throw that
I,
out there.
I didn't say it happened in high school. I said that somebody put him in trash cans. I'm pretty sure his mom would have.
I could see that happening actually. She like disowns him, throws him out onto the street, and he decides to find gotcha and online streaming to support himself. Wow. Hey,
Wonder,
Pack.
he's got like half of the DQ OST music mixes under his channel, I think, right? Does he make money? He can't make money on those, right? They have to be monetized.
I Can't
If they're
imagine.
not,
So I
like,
mean,
if they're monetized for them, if those slipped by, that could be a decent income.
like
Well,
literally, I did an Octo video where it had like one of the decisive battle tracks, and they were like, "If you want to keep this in, we're gonna monetize this and take a cut of it." And I'm like, "Fuck you! I'd rather scrub this from my video." So I can't imagine him getting around it with full blown OSTs.
yeah, I've had it for see because playing the DQ music in my background has never done that to me. But I've had that in Dokkan, and I know that Dokkan tubers are careful. Like if they put certain themes in the song, dude, since the 7 year started on global, it's been awesome. They put like more tracks in, like it's that Chala Head Chala song, whatever that's called. That's one of the menu themes now. That
Oh,
sometimes,
the original Japanese opening for DBZ.
yeah. But
Okay.
if that makes it on stream, demonetized.
Oh, you're fucking demon. Yeah, no, this
Yeah.
they own your
And then,
ass.
like the menu music in like little games, I think I tried playing. Risk might have done it, and I think the Catan game did it to me. Just the menu music was like, nope, copyright. Like, ugh, great.
You can make a good living off of just copywriting music and letting other dumb fucks go about and play videos.
There's probably something there. Ugh. Let's see. So, yeah. So let me see. What do we want to talk about? The roadmap. We haven't gone on about the roadmap, then, have we?
No, we really haven't. I mean, I still don't know what if they're going to jam anything extra into these solicited events for September, or if it's just going to be like you said, Gold Week and well, technically the Rank 8 shop and the lottery, which the lottery is going to be very interesting to see if it's going to stick to JP and we all get a bunch of fucking gems, or if that's the one motherfucking thing they're going to change on us. Because it's supposed to be Dragon 4 for this first set, or I think it's Dragon 4. It's I got to double
Oh
check.
yeah. Did you just say? Do we know when they're doing the first poll? Is it
It's,
the end? Is it going to be the 11th?
I believe so. I'm gonna double check here. So the way they did it was 4, 5, and 6 for the numbers, and then of course 3 different families. So I'm wondering if they're gonna randomize the families, and if you did 4 and all the families, you get it because there's 3 tickets, or if they're actually gonna pick something different and totally fuck over everybody.
'Cause, I mean, they're very lazy, but they also hate us. I mean, I know. Like, I feel like it sounds like I'm always trying to be childish. There's a little bit of that to it, but like, I'm sorry, I can't read it any other way. They really like they don't like giving things to the global audience. Because yes, they do cool things, that they do for Japan, also, of course. Like they skip a lot of major stuff for us for no reason. So I think they just hate the Western player base.
I think that's most publishers in general. There's a lot of times where you'll see things in JP and you're like, man, when is global, when is North America going to get this game? And that game never fucking happens, and then fans have to translate it. Or you see some cool shit in one of your games and you're like, oh, when do we get that collaboration? Half past fucking never. It's,
Everybody's convinced that we're going to get DQ10 offline. It's not happening.
um, I think we'll get it, but the fact that it's been delayed even in JP tells me that they've ran into some sort of fucking issue.
Yeah.
Like that's weird.
Here's the thing. I think a lot of people don't want to admit this, but among the small enough base as it is of Dragon Quest global fans, I don't think most people will play DQ10 offline. I don't think it's going to be a big selling Dragon Quest game. Among a series that sells, I mean, 11 did great. I think it sells well enough, but like, I don't think that DQ10 is going to put up Square Enix level sales globally.
I mean, I don't know because I was more excited for wanting to play the actual MMO, and I'm in a fucking minority because I'm an MMO player, and I can't imagine many people still even who are MMO enthusiasts even know about DQ10 at this point because it hasn't been talked about in NA for years, and there's no hope of it ever coming over here. So unless you physically want to like have the translated version, get a VPN, and do all that bullshit, it's kind of barred to people, and plus it's a turn-based game where the original Final Fantasy XIV was turn-based, and that failed pretty hard. They had to revamp the entire game.
Oh, was
So
that
it's
part of why 14 sucked? I never knew that.
yeah, they changed the entire combat system. I played the original. It was very slow-paced. I managed in it. I got through it because I could play fucking anything, but it was what they did to that game is that man what was his name, Yoshido, or I forget his name, but that dude, he like literally he fixed that game, and some Japanese guy somewhere fell on a fucking sword for putting out that shit to begin with.
I mean, everybody. I think everybody knows. Like anybody that's ever watched like a YouTube video about Final Fantasy, anything, like they apologized. Like they made a big deal about apologizing about how bad 14 was. So,
And they even fixed 15 to some extent too. I mean, 15 had like, I think chapter 13 was really bad and really slow paced. I played the game when it first came out. I didn't have a problem with it. I just blitzed through it. But they went back and they fixed that because the fans complained. It's just a different mentality with Final Fantasy and with how things are done with Dragon Quest.
here's a small tangent about chapter 13 and 15. It was unenjoyable. And I think that's exactly what it's supposed to be. 13 is supposed to be the pain of playing without your brothers. I was like, that was the first time I was like, wow. Like, the gameplay made me feel an emotional connection, or like, because of the disconnect because my party's gone. Like, this game is not fun without my party. I thought that that's what they were aiming for 100%, and fucking nailed it, man. I know it's unenjoyable. Chapter 13 was I almost looked at it like artistically, which I'm usually blind to stuff like that. Anyway, just a little. I don't think 15 was an amazing game. I think that people would call it a great game if it were called anything other than Final Fantasy 15. You know, Final Fantasy Kings whatever. It's a fucking great game. Final Fantasy 15, this sucks. I want more Final Fantasy 10. Me too. Yeah.
I
It's
don't
over.
know. I played the game. I mean, I beat the giant turtle. I did like the dungeons. I just didn't like how the fucking DLC was handled. They dropped the ball on that shit. Like they promised all this DLC and then they like cut half of it.
The last time I played it, it was some post game dungeon that was entirely platforming, and the movement and jumping in that game was fucking horrendous.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I don't. So you didn't do that one where I don't think there were any expansions at that time. It was just a post game dungeon. It was terrible because there was no combat. Basically, it was all platforming. And the platforming ability in that game was really, really, really bad.
I did the one where it was like, I don't know if it was like 60 or 90 floors, and I just kept going and kept fighting until the end, and it was like
a fly to it.
7 hours fucking later, and I was done, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is one of those games.
But I've heard a lot of people say that like, yeah, Final Fantasy 15 now compared to launch is a good game. What are my all-time favorite games? You know, I'm always on the like I always feel like on the spot when people answer that. So I hope you don't mind me just answering random questions from chat. I love Grandia. I'm playing Grandia 3 right now. If you want to be one of the 4 people watching, there's like 100 hours of very boring gameplay on my channel. I'm almost done. Let me see. Like Final Fantasy Tactics was amazing, but I don't know if I could play it again right now because I've played it like 5 times. This is, guys, seriously, if you've never heard of this game, this is a hidden gem. Growlancer, specifically the second one. It was in a PS2 pack called Generations of War. I didn't care for 3. It was 2 and 3 together. And 1 never came to global. And 5 is meh, but they're not really related. Yeah, Growlancer 2, a really good game. And Persona 5, I love Persona 5. Yeah.
That's the game they beat into the fucking ground with all the additions and whatnot. And then you also had to play the Strikers game to get the expanded story, which we got.
Was
that
there
for
relevant
free.
story in Strikers?
Yes, they continued with the story. I was kind of glad I got it for free on PlayStation Plus because I would have never bought the fucking game. I was
Mhm.
just like, oh, this is just
Yeah.
the same game
I-
redone. But it was Dynasty Warriors Persona. It was fun.
Okay, I'll have to give it a shot, especially if there's some relevant story in there. I did
There
enjoy
is.
5, and it's kind of funny. People used to rip on like games that like reused assets and making sequels and stuff. And I think when you grow up a little bit and you think about what it costs and development time, since everything's so detailed now, it's like, why aren't they using this engine and these settings to just make a sequel? Like, give me more content in my favorite game. Like, make Persona 5B. You know?
No,
No.
instead
Well,
they'll
I
make
mean,
you
they
wait
made
8
R, but
years.
like, eh.
They'll make you wait 8 years, and then they'll give you Persona 6.
Yeah, which I mean, it's like okay, so they're just like these games that do one-off thing, like Dragon Quest 11 is perfect. Like we love these characters, and we know they're never going to do anything with them again outside of some kind of silly. It's always like silly, basically collab stuff.
I like that. What was it? There, you'll see stuff in these gotcha games for them, or you'll see some one-off in like a fighting game where you'll have somebody show up from Smash Brothers in the game. It's like I didn't want the character in a fighter. I I wanted like a continuation of a story with this character, something new.
I was a little bit tempted to play Soul Cal 6 just because I love Witcher 3 and Geralt so much. But yeah, it's like okay, he's just going to be a character, and like as a character outside of a storyline, Geralt's not that amazing of a character. It's just Witcher 3 is so good.
Which is probably the best game that studio has, given how they fucked up Cyberpunk.
Yeah, we touched on that before. I think everybody had so much faith with him after how amazing the Witcher 3 games were. And, you know,
Although they did something smart that I just heard today, they opened up the game for modding. Like they gave the tools out for people to mod Cyberpunk.
oh, okay.
So
It's not getting any more money for him, so they might as well.
nah. So I
It's
mean,
bargain bin.
and pretty much they also said they're going to discontinue support for the older console. So when the expansion comes out for the game, if you don't have a PC, a PS5, or a better Xbox, you're fucked. So that kind of sucks, but it was going to happen. I mean, those consoles are stretched to their limits.
Everybody knew there was going to be a couple of games that, like, you know, the consoles were like everything has to be for the PS4 or Xbox One for what a year I think they said, which we must be past now. Like you know that there's going to be PS5 games that just don't work on PS4, but they'll kind of work, which I guess was exactly what what Cyberpunk was.
God, Cyberpunk. That's the only reason I got a PS5 was for that fucking game. I literally went to a grocery store parking lot, bought the thing off offer up for double the price just to play that fucking game, and then that game sucked ass.
Dude, I still see notifications about like, are you still? Do people still have to play the F5 lottery to get a PS5?
It's bad. It's bad because there's still scalping
It's
going
3 years
on.
old now, isn't it?
Yeah, like there's apparently really bad supply for this for them, for Xbox. I mean, it's awful. It's to the point where Sony said they could up the price on these units outside the United States, and they can. They'll still
Oh,
sell
yeah.
them. They don't care.
Honestly, like, yeah, look, I am not rich. I am not the elite, but like, here's the thing, like, supply and demand, like, honestly, why aren't they charging more? Like, that would almost kind of help, or like, the people that want it more get it. I don't know. I'm gonna get crucified for that. Maybe I'm stupid, but like, they always say that they sell these consoles at a loss. Like, I don't know if they are with the PS5.
They're
But
actually making money on the PS5. I know
Okay.
they're
I
making
think
a
the
loss
PS4
on the
they said
Xbox.
they didn't.
No, on the PS4 they took a loss, but I think on the
I think
PS5
even the
they're
PS3
making
when they
some
were
money.
charging, didn't they take a loss on the PS3 when they were charging 500 or 600?
I think
Um,
back
it-
then. I think they did because the card they used in there was just stupidly expensive
It
at
was,
the time.
it was a blue. It was a Blu-ray player, right? I think Blu-ray
Right,
players
they had,
were like
like-
a grand when the PS3 came out.
They had like the Blu-ray player in there. They had the graphics card for the PS3. They had a lot of equipment in that little system, and
Oh yeah, you could play PS2 games on it, right?
yeah, there was backwards capability as
Yeah.
well.
Which people think that it's so like I'm not a tech guy here. for people that think it's easy, like, oh, the PS5 should just be able to play old discs. Like, they're not the same discs. Like, I think they're like PlayStation 1 was CDs, and then DVDs for the PS2, and then it was Blu-ray for 4. So, um, yeah, I don't know how disc
Realistically,
readers
they
work, but
don't
like,
even have a working emulator for the PS3 games. Like, if you notice in the PS Premium, you could only stream the PS3 games. They don't even have like a download option for them. It's
yeah,
very weird. So they haven't even figured out a good emulator for it. Although I'm sure there's a good working emulator on the internet for fucking PS3 games that they could just grab and use. But
that's yeah, that stuff's always way beyond me. It's always a little harder than people think, but also, yeah, sometimes they just don't try. Like just a regular topic for us. Why the fuck aren't they porting old Dragon Quest games to the Switch or the PS5? Like, it's like, we promise we will give you money for that. You just put 8, literally any fucking version of 8. You can put the cell phone version of 8
give me
to my
9.
Switch.
Nine
Yeah,
was only on the fucking DS.
yeah.
I would play 9 on a PS5. That'd be great.
I mean, you could, 9 was dual screen. I don't know how easy it is to convert it, but it's got to be easy enough to like justify porting it. Like, it's a guaranteed sale. DQ9, you could still charge $40 for that.
Oh, absolutely.
DQ8,
They can do
you could
like a
charge $60
scale.
for a DQ8 remaster, and people will play it. Play it.
I mean, it's like the Persona games, the Shin Megami Tensei games. They re-released 3, and they sold that for like $60, and people bought that. People never got to play it before on like the newer consoles.
Yeah. Sorry, it's Thursday, Dapper. Kage got so excited that he's got internet that I was like,
Yeah,
all right, let's do a
internet
podcast.
and lighting, and I don't have to keep your secret anymore. Just to let you guys know, Pickle is black. Now that a certain person's no longer in the community, we don't have to keep that secret anymore.
Just don't even want to make any jokes about that. Um, was he the one that got the nasty? Oh no, that was somebody else.
No, it's somebody
Oh,
else completely.
yeah. Oh, Classic Hand, the account is gone. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's so
Well,
weird.
if anybody reported it, I mean, I don't know much about Reddit moderation, but I would think that something of that nature, as egregious as that was, they would just outright ban the account. But maybe it was deleted too. I don't know.
I mean, it was pretty fucking bad. So I mean, if Exist even sent in like a report on it, I'm sure that account would have been nuked because I can't imagine how many rules they violated just in those several paragraphs.
Hmm. Yeah, I only like scan. Well, I read it, but it was a week or so ago, and like, yeah, I like as bad as you think it might be. It's probably twice as bad. This was not just calling them boys or using a slang, uh, the N word or whatever. I forget the term. Anyway, yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah, it was so bad that I was like, if I did a video on this, I'd have to blur out most of it, and
Yeah,
yeah, I
you,
just
you
yeah.
you couldn't post an image of it. You couldn't say most of it. Just repeating the content, even bleeping things out or whatnot. Yeah, it'd be a channel strike or whatever.
Yeah, no, and I couldn't. I didn't even want to put it on any of the discords. I'm like, well, this is a DM only. I'm not
Oh
gonna
yeah,
put this on any place. They'd get taken down for it.
not a paragraph either. Like it was a rant.
Well, we know somebody who liked to rant.
um, yeah, I mean, is there anything that we didn't like cover? I mean, we all know that he's crazy. We all know. I don't know. Like, I think that he was already done before that, but I guess that was the straw for a lot of people. Um, like I said, no, I wasn't really too sure where people were lining up about it, but um,
Well, I know he
uh,
tried to get like he got into Nocturnal Conquest. He talked to Nock, who's not the leader, and he had tried to tell him that he was like gonna start playing casual, and that was a fucking lie. Because then somebody said, "Oh, he maxed CGM." Like, oh,
PGM came out after he did the whole. Well,
After
It's
he
CGM.
he failed the guild, and CGM came out, and he was without a home, and he's like telling this other guy, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna play casual." Like, oh, casual 5-star banner unit? Oh, okay.
Yeah, CGM came out after Game Bangers failed, right?
Right.
The 24 hours that was an idea. Uh, Um, yeah, just crazy. Um, yeah, no, that's so bad. I didn't know that he maxed CGM though. Did he? What was he bragging about it somewhere?
No, I found out after they got the account that he had maxed him. Like, I
Oh
didn't.
my god.
He never said anything about that.
So I don't think. Apparently, he was only willing to sell the people that he liked, but I wouldn't mind an alt account to lead my sub guild. Well, my second guild. I don't like calling it a sub guild. My secondary guild.
Your secondary sub guild?
Yeah. Dude, I would love an alt account to lead it. Um, but yeah, I would have paid more than
Well,
$100.
now your account's gonna sit there and rot while Helmet plays on his new 7K,
I
superstar
don't want
account.
to make it a thing, but I hope that it doesn't go to waste because it's still a pretty damn good account.
Won't be in a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it makes me feel kind of bad, but whatever.
Well, it is what it is. It's just one of those things where, and if, like, I wouldn't care as much if you had sold it off to the guy. I'd be like, well, you're fucking lost, but you just gave it over to him.
Yeah, like I don't know. I put a year and a bunch of money into it. He put 5 6 months into it, so it's not. I don't know. As long as it doesn't go to waste, there's nothing to complain about on my end. But
It probably will.
uh, yeah.
Yeah, let's be realistic. Like, when we got Lolliette's account, I gave it to my wife to play, and she was just so busy with it, with
Oh, I
work
never
and
knew
other
that.
things. Yeah, like, we got Law's account, and we never used the fucking thing again. Like, I wasn't gonna play it. I wasn't gonna play 2 accounts. I don't got the fucking attention span for that.
But I didn't realize that the player was in I don't it's not a secret to half the people here, but I don't want to bring names up, but I didn't realize that he was a starting member in Arena Watch. I was trying to tease Pack about it, like, so my account helped found Arena Watch because again, like, my account was number 25 CP when I left. Guilds came out like 6 to 8 weeks after I left, so still a damn good account.
Yeah, you're
Um,
basically Arena Watch material. Pack would have recruited you. He
no,
likes you. Oh wait, maybe he doesn't.
yeah, yeah, I can tell.
He won't give you your account back. I gotta laugh about
Oh.
that.
Anyway, that's just a whole bunch of things, but like some I don't know,
Realistically,
some feelings came out. Like I know
yeah.
how I know where I stand.
Realistically, though, what it tells me is Pat considers you a woman because he's not going to your defense.
I don't know. Sorry, I stammed capped in game. I got the notification that I was stammed capped. Go run that crystal stage. Um, anyway. Oh, by the way, a little PSA here, guys. If you think that you have enough family rank mats and spheres and stuff like that, you probably don't, unless you've actually like speculated and things like that.
No,
They
'cause
go
at some point
really
they'll
fast once you
they'll
start
up
ranking your
they'll up
box
shit.
up.
I mean, every time there's like 4 new units, every time there's you end up getting an influx of S ranks. That shit just goes like, I even finally like tapped into my Dark Lord materials to where I was like hurting after.
Oh yeah.
Because
Um,
I got CGM and I got the fucking S rank, and then next thing I know, I S8'd both of them, and I'm like, I got nothing left here.
because before rank 8, I did have the foresight to make sure that I didn't really think about like, well, this family has more units than that one. Like when I was farming Iris, because that's all that rank up campaigns were to me, more Iris. I'm like, let's make sure that I don't neglect certain families. I would go to my inventory every so often, make sure that they were pretty equal. But yeah, and then rank 8 came, and I'm like, all right, I'm finishing up the inorganic road, which was one of the first ones they did, and I'm like, I am almost out of pearls, and I think pearls run low quicker. I think pearls are the ones that you got to look at, but I'm like, dude, I'm about out of pearls. Like, I had enough for everything that I had, but like, well, for the low rank road units, but yeah, dude, if you're sitting on like 200 pearls, which is a decent amount to be at if you're not like an overboard hoarder, but like if you think that you're set forever because you've got like 200 family spheres or whatever, you are, dude. That's like 2 or 3 new units. That's it. Uh, if, dude, even like if you get like 3 beast units in one event, even like B and C rank ones, they'll kill that.
Oh,
You
Beast
know,
is the worst because they have the most units. So every time there's
you
just
get five
like a
beast
rank
units a
up,
month.
yeah. Plus, whenever there's a rank up, that's the first one to go. It's like I just wasted all these in like E and F units and shit, and I'm tapped.
Oh, another little PSA, I guess. The units that we're getting, um, in the Dream event, um, a lot of the units that we just got and that we're just about to get are gonna be in the story part 4, which Japan gets Tuesday, I believe. So it'll probably launch with a new unit in Japan on Tuesday. So Saturday or Sunday night, we'll probably find out what the next banner unit is in JP. Find out what other broken shit that we can't skip. Um,
That's the new play is to just make it to where if you skip something, you're gonna pay for it later.
but 3 of the 5 lower rank event units from the Dream event are going to be um, farmable in story part 4, and 2 of those are they're like nothing is that worth farming outside the A ranks from the Dream event, but the C and the B rank that are maybe potentially worth farming are going to be added to part 4 story. So fall short, you might. There's a C rank. There's a C rank cover tank. Probably don't need it at this point, but you know, day one players will not pass on a cover tank.
No, we'll get it because at some point they're starting to do the 8 units in the map with when they do the true DQ2 event. So or true DQ3 event, they're gonna have the 8 units. So we may end up having to have 2 cover tanks per all-out battle at some point in time. So I would probably get it after you get done with the A ranks, realistically.
I don't know. Maybe we have one like a C rank cover tank for GVG is not bad. You know, you got 15 points. You want to use all your points. There you go. C rank cover tank is probably about the best you'll do. And he resists Frizz and Zam, which obviously Frizz is an awesome resist right now. And then Zam, who gives a fuck about Zam right now? Nothing relevant is doing Zam damage. But okay, we're about to get Dern in a couple of weeks. Probably not going to see him that much, but look, he's got Zam and he's got Indomitable Spirit. That's very strong. He's going to be a great 50-point unit, I think. And then 5 minutes after that, we're going to get Hargen's Blossom, which I think Hargen's going to be another, like, just every arena team has Hargen, you know? So,
Fucking wish I had him. Shit. I
so
still
I
never
mean,
pulled Hargan.
oh, dude, like, I think I mentioned this before, like, during the anniversary, the last celebration, it was like, oh, crap,
We lost you all of a sudden. Oh, we lost Chase completely. He's frozen in time. I think his internet has died. Well, the role of Chase will now be played by nobody. Well, he was going to say something interesting. And then he lost his internet. That's what he gets for making fun of me for losing my internet. Oh, maybe he's back.
okay, am I back?
Hey, there you are. You're back.
Sorry, Chrome crapped out. That's unusual.
Yeah, we thought you had a stroke.
I must just have too much stuff going on. I had some uploads going too, so YouTube uploads.
Like
I had like
rabbit porn?
yeah, I had like 10 hours of Grandia 3 footage that I didn't bother posting, and I just did them all at once.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
Nibs. It's undercover Nibs did it.
He's like, I gotta go after this guy. He's not white enough.
Oh man, I already forgot what I was ranting about, but yeah. Um, anyway. Oh yeah, so oh yeah, I was saying that like when I
Oh, now we can't hear him. And there he goes again. Huh. I'm just waiting for Nibs to show up in the bottom left corner of my thing. That'd be kind of funny. This is great. So yeah, I mean, realistically, KO, he'll be back maybe. I don't know. Maybe he used up his Wi-Fi for the month. Super hacker, shit. Be surprised nobody comes after me. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know we're getting a lot of great units soon. It's one of those things where if I can get an extra awakening on CGM, great. If I can get some of this other stuff, I didn't kick him mid-sentence. That's actually a funny idea, but no, I didn't kick him. I didn't kick him. But I don't know. It's one of those things where yeah, there's gonna be a lot of great units. Some of this stuff may not be as replaceable as before, but here's the thing. You know, don't fucking break the bank on this game. It's just don't fucking do it. Like, you know, you see some of these people, and Nibs is a prime example. This dude probably spent grand total, probably, you know, between both times he went around, maybe 12 to 15,000 on this game. And at the end of the day, all it got him was a ticket to don't fucking play anymore. And I've got one right now, Pickle. So if I get one more, I'll then use shards and three.
Sorry, I'm just gonna stop opening other pages, I guess.
Okay, there you are. All right. So I was wondering what happened. Everybody thought that Nibs was hacking your account and he wanted to come in and co-host again and set the record
Obviously.
straight.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Chrome doesn't want to work well tonight. But I don't know where I was cut off. But anyway, I think we're gonna see a lot of Hargan and Sorrow. Like, there's still not many reasons not to bring Hargan. The only Sorrow. The only thing is that apparently, you know, Goresby is just like an instant Sorrow kill. He has literally one weakness. So that's like the only problem with Sorrow is that he has one counter unit. But anyway, like even with that, he's still a good unit to bring all the time. So I think you're going to see a lot of Sorrow and Hargan together. So a unit that resists both of them is terrific.
I've watched Goresby destroy Zorro. I mean, I've watched Baramos destroy Zorro. Although Baramos is more, I guess, luck. I don't know if Goresby you need some luck with a crit to take out Zorro or not, but like one confusion and Zorro's done.
The thing with Sorrow is like, at least in my opinion, like I have baited him once or twice. Although baiting is just not as guaranteed as some people think it is. Like sometimes there's just a little bit of HP and defense differences that's like, nope, he decided to go for, you know, my Archdemon instead of my Dual Magus or Fallen Angel Corvus or whatnot. So then you lose. Like, you can't allow Crimson Cuts to go off in Arena, as far as I'm
Ghost
concerned.
says, I take the piss out of Chase, but he does seem like a generally better person than Nibs. And then AA says, is that a hard level to beat, though? Yikes.
I mean, I don't want anybody to think I'm nice, so let's calm down a little bit here.
Well,
I don't want
do
any
you want
character
people to think you're a white
assassination.
supremacist?
Dude, 2022, can't even joke about that stuff. Not
They'll
even gonna.
fucking find you.
Yeah, dude, I won't be able to get a trucking job.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Dude, I will say, like, all right, every once in a while I get caught watching a Big Brother episode, and they just brought race into it, and I'm like, oh my god, they're like, they're literally not going to be allowed to vote for anyone black for the rest of the season, because they just had like a whole like week about, because here's the thing, the black players grouped up and the white players grouped up, which just kind of happens. It's natural. I'm already going too far. Like,
yeah, it happened back in like the 1800s. Yeah.
It's just human nature. Like, you know, people just kind of go with. Anyway, it's, but yeah, like games like this, like the black people will say like, I'm not gonna vote out a black guy, and then when the white guys team up, it's all races. Anyway, so you're not allowed to vote black people off in Big Brother. So definitely the rest of the house is fucked. Anyway, it's just totally irrelevant. I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
What Jay said is black people rig Big Brother. That's what I got out of this.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just like, oh, this is brilliant. Like they're gonna have to pull this like every season now. Um. Anyway,
I would probably tune
I'm
in and
already.
watch it. It sounds like a lot of fun.
If I had more than 1,000 subs, I'd already be hashtag canceled. So I'm just gonna shut
Big
the
Brother
fuck
season
up.
27, Whites vs Blacks, everybody.
Yes. Yeah. Was was that episode of South Park where Cartman just kept running around, race war?
Race war. Ah, shit. He kept going like, calm down, Token, calm down.
Chase looks like Carl from Jimmy Neutron. I mean,
That's rough.
maybe. Oh. Doesn't stay anyway. I'm looking at myself in on the stream, so everything I do is 15 seconds delayed. So
That's just like your real life.
yeah, I watch your face after you say things, which is always weird. And that's also a weird way to put it. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a really gay way to put it.
Yeah. Anyway. So let me see. Do we? Yeah. So we haven't talked about the roadmap. I mean, it's not nothing big. Have you weighed in on? Do you think it's a misprint? Do you think that the pluralizing of events is intentional, or do you think it's just like, English?
I mean, it all depends what they clarify or classify as an event. I mean, the lottery
Yeah.
could technically be one event. The rank 8 late shop could technically be another event. It's just like what is an event to these people? And then you could ask Malcolm for his definition, and he'll be like, I don't know.
Because I know in the community, like we've always been pretty clear, like when people call things events, like actual like the mainline games and the things like the things that come with stages and units and whatnot, those are events. And then there's campaigns and campaigns and celebrations are basically the same thing. Like campaigns are a little bit not technical sometimes because a campaign can just be like, the campaign bonuses and whatnot, or an overarching theme or whatnot, and then a celebration is usually like coming with bonus banners and things like that. But like, I don't think they would call those events. So anyway, one of my thing, assuming that it's not a misprint, I'm thinking either it's whatever they're doing with Golden Week, or it's literally just the gold event and Dreams Together. They have done that in the past, basically. So,
And I'm cool.
Although-
I know some people aren't big on this, but if they want to smush in like 4 or 5 events and keep the duration decent, I loved when we were getting like 5 tokens or 4 tokens on a battle road or on a stage.
well, we don't, dude, we don't have 4 or 5 events left. There's Dreams, okay, Dreams, Golden Week, DQ3, and then the current event, the summer heat, whatever. And they're like 5 minutes away from starting a either fall event or fall campaign. It'll probably be a fall campaign starting with story chapter 4. So that'll be like 2 weeks of whatever, and probably the first meh banner unit they've had in a while. Because I don't think they've ever done a good banner unit for a story update.
No, I mean, I guess EKM would be the best one of the group, and that's
Is it always a killing machine?
um.
Or usually, well
Well,
I
no,
think
there
late,
was,
like the last year, it's been a killing machine, right?
Let's see.
Oh,
So
well, there's Barbados.
Barbados, and then there was who was the other one that they did? Jaguar was one of the story banner units at one point too.
Hmm.
But that was a long time ago.
Dude, by the way, the name Goldiga, I'm like whenever I see that in text, I'm like, I think he spelled it. It's so wrong to being hashtag canceled.
Well,
It's
no,
so close to being
he's
hashtag
black.
canceled
He's
every
allowed to
time I
say
say
that.
that word. Yeah.
It's okay for Pickle to say that, okay?
I'm so afraid I'm gonna screw that term up every time.
Well, there's some people who aren't afraid about screwing that term up, but they're no longer in the community.
They are hashtag canceled and then some.
Yep. They can't even get into Nocturnal Conquest at this point. And that says a
I wonder,
lot.
like, if you use like Y's and stuff. Like, I wonder if you can. I wonder if you can spell it wrong in game. Anyway, it's I don't know. It's a funny name to me. I watched too much Boondocks, so.
That show got canceled. Well, not canceled is not the right term. It got picked up for
Oh.
another season. Then the voice of Grandpa died, and now it's never happening. It looks like.
Oh, I didn't keep up.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
going to go back. They were going to do like an HBO season. They were going to do a new season with it. I was like, okay,
Oh,
I'd
okay.
watch that. I like the Boondocks. Boondocks was it's funny as shit.
Because
For
they
me.
just sold like everything Adult Swim to HBO. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, for some reason they shifted everything over. Not sure why.
Yeah. What's
Hey,
up,
Dine.
Timotheus? Dine?
He's
For 20
he
years, I
comes to
think.
watch me play COC. He's one of the Octopath guys.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Platt's getting some decent reception. I don't know about
yeah.
you.
I mean, I have one video that has like several thousand views, and it's me just showing you how to cheat the system and re-roll the advertisements for better experience. That's
It's
about
weird
it.
because like he and I both, and he tried way harder than me. I didn't like MHA, but we both tried to make content on that. But the problem is, a game like MHA, like all of the like gotcha gamers on YouTube that have like do 100,000 plus subs come in, and you're not making it through the algorithm when there's like other YouTubers like that. So
Now
also,
you
I
get
think they know
pushed
how
out.
to edit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you get
editing's
pushed.
cheating. Fuck that.
I can't edit. I just
No, I don't.
Just me. We're talking.
I don't know how. Every once in a while, I think like I should try making like JRPG videos, like other ones I see. Like they don't look that high quality, and like they're not professional. But like literally any amount of video editing takes time. Also, I don't know how to use video editing software. Like like as far as I know, like the last I knew, like when you learn video editing, like you're not like you're mostly just learning how to use one or two programs. Like you just have to learn how to use these programs inside and out. So I
Like
do
there's a
not.
whole art to it. Like, oh, you can like remove like static and do all this other shit. And like, I'm not looking to get rich off of this. I'm not looking to build up like a super big channel. I'm just looking to come on here, play some games,
I hate work.
start some shit. Yeah, I worked all day as is. I don't want to come on here for another 2 hours and make this better for everybody else.
As
Fuck
far
you
as I'm
guys.
concerned, it's either YouTube or I don't know, finding like a rich husband or something. I'm
I
not gay,
think
but I just
Dak
can't
is,
find a rich woman with standards as low as I need them to be. So
I mean, I could find
I
you a
know.
woman with low standards, but I don't think she has money. I can go ask
yeah,
her.
see, I want both. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's not happening.
yeah. So hashtag problems or
Well, you
whatever.
should have asked Nibs nicely.
I'm God. I don't want to make personal insults. I don't know how he's married. I don't. He's got to be different in real life, right? Like, I can't imagine him having friends if he is 10% like this in real life.
I think it's more than 10%.
That's what I'm like. Yeah, if he were at all like this, like, don't you fucking tell me how to open up an Office template, okay? I had a little trouble opening a document. That doesn't mean I need advice. Like, I don't know, that's a silly example, but you know what I mean. Like if he's at all like he was online, holy shit. Ugh,
I just hope he works by himself. That's all I'm saying.
has to.
Oh, Mitch says there's a thing called mail order bride. I brought that up once before.
Dude, I think that's such a real possibility. You a guy that showered during while server time.
Wow, it's like, well, the game's down. Time to go become hygienic for a couple of minutes.
Dude, that was
Jesus Christ.
like, dude, I played World of Warcraft for a little while we've talked about that, but like, I knew girls, like, I dated girls that were like, yeah, I had a boyfriend that played WoW and he would just ignore me, and I'm like, look, I was in a 25-man raid group. Like, I would every once in a while tell my friends, like, I'd be sitting around bored all day, and then as soon as it's raid time, it's like, hey, let's hang out, and it's like, I just can't tonight. Like, I literally have 25 other people waiting for me. It's like, oh, do you really like you're fucking canceling me? I'm like, no, there's like 25 real life people. But anyway, if my girlfriend took her clothes off and was like, throw it in me, son, yeah, I'm gonna log off. So I've never understood that.
So you're not gay.
Let's not put that out there. I'm still looking for the rich husband. So
Because I've never heard Pac ever say that once. It's like he's just never been interested in women. He just usually
I'm
teases
pretty
them
sure he
and throws them
said
away.
I'm pretty sure he said throwing it in me once or twice. So
Oh well, it's another guy maybe.
uh, anyway,
Yeah, non gamers don't understand that. Like, if you've got an obligation, a bunch of people said they're going to be here at 8 o'clock. We're going to work on doing this raid for 3 hours or so. You're going to do that
Yeah.
for 3 hours because if you don't show up, depending on what role you are, if you're the main tank,
I was
it's
the
not
main tank.
happening. It's not fucking happening.
Yeah, and it's like they literally can't do it without me. And just because there's a game involved, I still made a commitment to 24 other people. So for the record, Dapper, no, I'm just making very bad crass jokes, which you're probably not supposed to anymore. But
I don't care.
you know, anyway,
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You end up like Chris Hardwick.
Dapper, it's worse than me. I have not one but two Pink Ranger Morpher sets behind me. They're over there. So yeah, super effeminate. But I got one for normal price, and then they put them on clearance for 25. Dude, Power Ranger stuff, like the popular ones, once they're like out of production, some of those are fucking ridiculous. Look at the prices on any Green Ranger toy, basically.
I should have
Like,
bought that shit up on the flea markets when I saw it back in the day.
oh yeah, like some of the legacy stuff goes more for, well, at least unboxed, like the OG toys, like if they're just like out of their package and whatnot, they're really not worth that much. I think that Dragon Dagger is already worth like $300 or so. Of course, I haven't really done research. I just saw a couple on eBay. I know that doesn't always mean
Right, yeah,
that's
you
what they
don't
sell
know
for.
what the price is, but at the same time, if
I know
there's
you
like,
can search for sold, but I don't.
well, I mean,
No.
it's also if like there's a new movie or if there's some buzz about the series, it generally brings up the price of everything, and that's the best time to sell. Whereas normally, nobody gives a fuck at the time, like about the dagger or any of the other gear.
All right, so I'm Dapper collects Warhammer 40K models and Gundam. First of all, I think like I remember I read through my friend played. I read through some of the codexes and like the story of that game. I remember liking some of it, like the Tau and the Tyranids were pretty fucking cool. Like I like the Tyranids. They're like dinosaur bug things that go from planet to planet and consume everything. And like apparently just nobody can take them down. You just kind of like try to survive them. Um,
And I'll stick
when
with
I was
Gundam
playing
where they
Magic
have
the
like a
Gathering,
9,000 series.
like we joke about the amount of like social disorders and autism and just yeah no social skills prevalent among like Dragon Quest players and Magic players and stuff. Dude, the Magic players looked like the cool kids when people came in playing 40K. Like, oh my god, there were some fucking losers.
Now, for
Hopefully,
you to
I'm not
call those
insulting
people
Dapper too much.
losers, that's saying something.
Dude, I made this joke last night on my own stream. Like one of the things I liked about playing Magic at the mall was not only was I not the fattest, I was also like I was basically like the jock in the group. Like I was the cool kid, which is so sad.
You're like, man, I'm the best one here. What the fuck is wrong with my life? What am I doing here? I need to go home.
Oh man, I love paper Magic. It's just so expensive to keep up because I only play standard. So like if you actually want to be good at standard, you got to spend a couple $100 at least every few months.
Speaking of antisocial, how's your crusade going against Tukey there, Pack? Have you beaten him yet?
Like how bad did he treat his sub guild? Like I don't understand.
They were basically like batteries. Like, okay, well, I need to get some, double or triple A batteries for my remote. I'm just gonna go take them from the sub guild and then put them into the main guild, sort of deal.
So anybody that did decent, he took from there.
Right, when he needed to like get some people, he would just pull from them and not replenish them at all. He'd be like, well, why do I need to get new batteries? I still got all these over here.
See, that's what I don't want to do. I will admit that we took a couple people from CG13 into Chasers, but it was just because, we thought that they would leave if we didn't put them in, like, the more competitive guild, even though they both finished Plat 1. But yeah, like, I made my little recruitment video where I made sure to say, like, I don't want CG13 to be it's not my sub-guild. It's not, like, it is more casual. Although I have a problem being casual in DQ or in GVG. Like anybody that doesn't try their hard, like not results, but like if I see somebody brings low rank units or something like that to GVG defense,
Yeah, we've talked about this
it
before.
pisses me
Like
off.
the
Yeah,
guys who get a 10 score and it's 10 minutes into a 24-hour event, or the guy who
yeah,
brings like a B5 unit or like an A5 unit. It's like, well, couldn't you get that
exactly.
up to 7 or 8 and level it up, or
Yeah,
bring an alternative?
yeah, totally understandable to have like a rank 7 right now. But on the other hand, I would like I would do everything in my power to rank up my arena or my GVG team. That's like it's the most important team you can have because you're making other people rely on you. So uh, anyway, yeah, I just I couldn't do that to my like I don't want CG13 to be a farm team. So that's basically what he's doing with did with what was it, YA? He was just their farm team,
Yeah, it was just like an extra
which I
subguild. All of them were to him. I mean, except the
and
main guild.
because here's the thing, look, any guild with two guilds, look, I'm not CG13 is not a farm team, but like, if somebody were really exceptional, we'd probably move them up. At least right now, I don't know. I think Chaser's is full, but like, um, I don't think there's any room to move anybody up. But like, to just be blatant and cold about it, that sounds like what he was doing. Because any guild with more than, or any group with more than two guilds, one is the main.
Now let me ask you this too. Now, if you had like a real legitimate problem with Pack, like a feud where you would kick this guy off a server, would you be hanging out in his guide hub?
Oh God, I got to admit, it would suck to be kicked out of PAX Hub. Like, I'm not gonna make an alt account to bother go checking out main cord because it's I look I hate that I can't see what Malcolm says very easily, but also that's the most toxic dipshit place I can see. It's basically the same dozen losers just talking with each other with inside jokes. Like, God help any new players that come in there wanting help. Um, anyway, but yeah, I would have to make an alt account if Pack ever kicked me.
See, that's more respectable than what some of these guys are doing, where they shit all over Pack, kick him from here, have problems with him, and then they still openly sit in there. It's like you could at least get the fuck out and go make an alt.
Yes, I appreciate you, Seth. I get reports on what Malcolm says generally. Reports, that sounds so.
Malcolm says that he can't say. That's usually what the report is. Well, I can't say. I still to this day it just pisses me off where it was like we reported those arena cheaters and it's like, well, we can't give you guys compensation because other people could cheat and get compensation for doing that. Meanwhile, it's like you guys don't give compensation anyway, so why would anybody expect to get anything out of you fuckers?
Yeah. Oh, why can't Chase post himself? Do you guys remember when the arena cheating was rampant? And we were like, so what are you guys going to do about this? And I was like, well, how are you going to compensate us for? I definitely 100% lost the only gold trophy I would have ever gotten. I finished like 55 or something, or like 50, I think it was like 52 or 53 in an arena week when there were at least like 5 cheaters. I'm like, this literally cost me a gold trophy. I'm not going to lose sleep over that, but like, arena is a dick measuring contest. Well, no, there's like coins and they matter. Yeah, they used to. Arena coins don't matter. It's 110% a dick measuring contest now. Besides the 30 gems and 800 gold, like, yeah, I mean, they fucked me out of a gold trophy because they let the cheating run rampant, and our compensation was 300 gems and or no, 300 coins. I don't think they even gave us any gems. 300 coins is nothing. Almost half an awakening. And I just kept telling Malcolm, like, that's not good enough. Because what they were saying is, we're afraid if we give any compensation, it will encourage more cheating. I'm like, that still leaves us fucked. And then I was silenced in the Discord because I wasn't. Look, Malcolm is there for us. We are not there to kiss Malcolm's ass. I don't have a problem with Malcolm. I wish that he were allowed to do more things, but I don't have a problem with Malcolm personally. But I'm not there to kiss his ass. So he's there to hear my complaints. I told him, I'm like, I kept reassuring, this is not enough. This is fucking ludicrous that you are fucking people this hard because it's literally your highest paying players too. Luckily in this game, the highest paying players are basically fucking simps, with no exaggeration. But anyway, I got muted for that, and I have a really bad habit of. So some of you are gonna say, "Oh, it's your own fault." When I got muted for that, I told them to suck my fucking dick, and probably something else, Nazi. I probably called him a Nazi or something like that, and that got me banned. Cause well, that's why I got banned from the Dokkan Reddit once or twice too. Because if you tell me that I did something that was bullshit, I'm gonna tell you to go suck my dick. So, and then these basement dwelling fucking losers will ban you, which crazy, right? I know. I basically asked for the ban, but like, yeah, that's why. Like, it's fucking stupid. Like I said, we're not here to like praise Malcolm. I have no idea. Being nice to him, sure, yeah, great, but like, guys, he's our customer service rep. Like,
I mean, I see him more as the guy who's scans your groceries at a grocery store and checks you out in terms of everything. He has no control over the pricing. He has no control over a lot of things. And
no, and he never gets permission to do anything.
No.
I understand. I get so tired of people saying it's not his choice. I know it's not his choice. When we talk about Malcolm, we talk about his position and what it is and able to do, which is jack shit.
Right, he can't even ask for a manager.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, if he were allowed to do, like, cooler streams and stuff like that, I think he's a cool, he's probably, I don't know. I don't know how old he is. I want to say cool kid. He looks so young. But he'd probably be enjoyable to watch and joke with and stuff like that, but I just can't get over how much Square Enix fucks us, so it's kind of hard
they
to...
own him. He can't do a lot, and he has to be very careful because if he does something that's outside of his contract, they'll fire him, and then he will be working at Walmart.
Well, the term customer service rep might not be correct. I know he's a community manager, but he's there to take our shit. That is his job. You might not like that phrasing, but I mean that's part of it. Like, the game has legit problems, always had. I complained. That's a valid opinion, a stance. Especially,
I was actually surprised Malcolm jumped on your server. So I mean, it was
interesting
to
honestly.
see him come over there. Although he hides on my server. I know you're on my server, Malcolm. I know you're not allowed to say you're on my server, but I know you're there.
But it's not like he doesn't come. I tried to tell him, like, dude, at least put stuff on the Reddit. Like, whenever he makes like announcements and stuff like that, like, he's doing it in the main cord. Which, what do you think? 20 people read?
Maybe 3.
I know there's like 200 members or whatever, but like,
yeah, there's a lot of people there, but those are people
you can't keep up with it.
Lost interest in the game that just kind of stay in there. I mean, how many times does somebody play a game on a Discord and stay in that Discord for months after they've gone?
Dude, if you're not one of the cool kids, you're not gonna get to hang out and chat. Like, you're just gonna be ignored or whatever. I know they probably help a new guy every once in a while, but I know every time I would go back in there, I was like, man, I hate this place. They're just talking about stupid shit all day. Or it's like, BDS whales talking about like using 5 Awakening units or whatnot. Like, okay, this matters to no one.
Well, if you use this team of Max Awakened S-Rank units, you can clear this content for the icon. Don't you have these Max Awakened units? Artea does.
Yeah. I would never shit on it. People can do whatever they want. But yeah, it's disappointing when I'm like, all right, there's a clear video. It's like, oh, Artea, or... I've seen some of both from him, but Afro Smash. He puts out some videos with like, oh, I think I have that team. But his are 4 and 5 hearts and mine are 1. And it's just, this is just beating a dead horse, but God, it's so expensive to get Awakenings. Getting Awakenings on anything is just, you do that once a year, or it's pure whale territory. And I don't think blowing all your gems to get multiple Awakenings on, like, Sorrow is worth skipping everything else.
Wait, there's gonna be co-op on Dead Island 2? I'm just surprised they're actually gonna release that fucking game after 8 years.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's not. It's funny because I mean, yeah, you could say, oh, just go and work on this unit, go work on that unit. But if it costs you like $400 per awakening, that's fucking expensive. Like, whatever happened to just playing a $60 fucking game?
Oh yeah, and like I said, the chance of getting a pity, like the first pity in a banner, and then not getting another copy until 90,000 gems spent. That's not a long shot. That's entirely possible. Um, so I don't like the chances. Like I don't like doing dupes at all because I think it's around $700 to do 90,000 gems.
I mean, unless you get
So.
really lucky and you get the first pull out of a ticket, which thank God they don't count the tickets as pity.
Oh yeah, I think was it you that told me Artia only posts his good pull videos. Like I've seen him. I think he got Sorrow in like one stamp basically or close to it or something. Stamp card. Well, you can definitely get like 5 copies in 10 stamps, but like more often than not, or like more often than not, that way more often than that, you're gonna get 0
No, you're
copies in
gonna
your
get
first
fucked.
10 stamps.
You're gonna get a bunch of bullshit units that you already have.
Yeah, because people always post their luck and their pulls during anniversaries. It's like, oh, dude, I got totally screwed. I didn't get Sorrow until the 10th stamp. I'm like, you still got lucky. That's lucky. Anything that you get before pity is lucky in this game.
Oh, I hate that. Well, I'm free to play, and I can okay, yeah. Well, you've been playing since day one. Maybe this person has been playing since day one, and they're free to play. They need an alternative too.
Hmm. Do enough pulls, and eventually you'll have an example of getting Max Awaken in one stamp. Exactly. But yeah, like I said, somebody told me he only posts his good pulls, which totally makes more sense. That's more fun than seeing somebody pulled, boss troll 5 times.
Hey, I would like to see Artea spend thousands of dollars and get nothing. I'd watch that video.
But by the way, what was it? Oh, dude, I can't wait for Great Trolls blossoming. But is it him and Emperor Slime?
Him and Emperor Slime are the last two. So whoever's the last one standing is probably going to get the better of the deal of the general pool or the original general pool. So the question is, would they show more appreciation and more power to Emperor as a support unit, or would they go kind of a similar route how they did with Nightclubber for Great Troll?
I don't know what they're gonna do with either of them. I want to look at Great Troll once. I'm kind of suspecting that maybe his stats are good enough that they don't want to, like, if they blossom them now, it would either have to be too late or too much. Like, okay, so I put in Master Rank 44, Awakening 5, of course. He has 1,384 HP and a 506 attack, which isn't good, but it's actually good. It's not amazing, but that's a good attack. 394
that'll accelerate
agility
with Blossom. It'll go up.
Yeah, and he's moved too. That's a big problem. They have to give him some kind of movement, basically. But he doesn't need much to be good. Blossoming stats would give him at least another 20 to 25 attack, or is it like 30? No, he'll get another 20 to 30 attack, to put him at 535. They'd have to give him an ability with some kind of range and at least like one more move, probably. If they don't give him anything more than move 2, then he would get like a fan type attack, and he just really doesn't need much to be a really solid typeless dude. Because after blossoming, he's going to be 1450, 1500 HP. So
maybe a little bit more, depending on
yeah.
if they decide to pad his HP.
Yeah, he'll be over 400 agility at that point too, and 400 agility isn't good, but it's enough to put some agility gear on him. And he'll go relatively fast. It depends on how your opponent's geared, but this is, if he got any kind of damage mitigation, he'd be really scary. Oh yeah, his first awakening is a greatly he starts with a double defense boost for 3 turns, so that's only HP. That's actually pretty good. So anyway, I'm just saying like that's the thing. I'm wondering if that's why they haven't blossomed them yet. Is like I think they don't have to do much to make them pretty strong.
So then, what would they do for Emperor then? I mean, if they gave him more defense, he'd be pretty broken in terms of physical attacks. But I mean, magic would still wreck him.
Yeah, I mean, do they give them like better healing, or do they give them a spell? If they gave them, obviously it would have to be like a typeless spell. I think that's fair to say.
You know, it would be crazy, and I doubt they would do this. But what if they gave him kind of like resistance to Diamond Slime, where they gave him the ability to like resist every element? I doubt they would do that, but that'd be something different.
I don't know if they could put. Well, I guess they could if they really want. It would probably be, besides the fact that that's really strong, would be how would they put that on the talent tree?
That would be, yeah. I don't know how they would do that, or would they maybe just put it as gains, 25% resistance for X and X elements or something.
They now they could add a regen effect to all of his heals to basically give him Seraphi's heal. Although his is only range 2, hers is 3, so she'd still be a better healer. This is if you think that they would want him to be able to compete with Seraphi, which, well, when he's blossomed, in JP, Seraphi is in the general banner now, so there's really not as much reason for them to not want him to be as good or better than Seraphi. They could finally have a healer better than Seraphi. Unlikely, but it's not out
Right,
of the
because
card.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if they want this or not, but I mean, you should, even as a new player, you should want to pull an S rank unit and look at any of those S rank units and go, okay, this is good. I can do something with this instead of, well, what they did to Prism Peacock, where even if you blossom him, he's a piece of shit.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and I thought that he would have some potential, but I don't think, dude, who the hell blossomed him? I know that like 4 people
I
did,
didn't.
but like
Shit, I blossom hybrid over him.
he just that move just didn't do enough damage, and I think it was the same with the striking saber cat. People thought that would be good. I know a lot of people blossomed him, and he was useful in like the blossoming door and stuff like that, but you thought that like maybe an A rank Martial Frizz radius 1 attack would be good, and I think it was doing like 400 or 500 damage. It just wasn't good enough.
No, it was just a disappointment. I remember doing like a tier list with Pack, and we were like, yeah, he still needs a blossom. Like, he's one of those units where he'd be a prime example of if they were to do anything outside of blossom or a new system, kind of like what they're doing with Erdrick. He would be like one of the first candidates for it because he just doesn't have any versatility. Yeah, Blossom 2.0, as Pack points out.
Yeah, and what's a shame? Units like I always think the units that need Blossom 2.0, Kirill, obviously, and like the what they did for Sorrow with like, yeah, just make this ability use as attack stat. That's what like Prince of Canik and Kirill needed, because hybrids just don't work in DQT. It can be kind of useful in story and stuff like that, but you can't use a hybrid in anything serious. Like, being pretty good at 2 things is fucking worthless. You've got to excel at 1 thing.
Right, otherwise something else will just take the place of it. Because, I mean, you
Yeah.
bring it in, it'll do like 1 or 2 hits. Those hits won't do a lot of damage. And then you bring in a specialist. The specialist will do twice the damage of that unit and make the whole point of why you brought said unit completely fucking worthless.
Yeah. Oh, somebody asked about Queen Slime. Now, I wish I could Blossom Queen Slime, but so short on Blossom mats, it's ridiculous. And that was with me planning, like, yeah, I've got to like save for the brides, and I'm only gonna Blossom Bianca. I want to do Bianca, Kanik, and Hargan. It's like I might be able to. I'll probably not be able to finish Hargan. Or well, Kanik. I got to get Hargan. Say, besides the fact that I don't have orbs for Queen Slime, Blossom mats for Queen Slime, I don't have rank mats. Same thing with Dread Dragon. I think Dread Dragon it has a really strong place in the meta right now for taking out like for me I have a problem taking out Elena. I avoid Elena in GVG because I don't really have a good way to take it out. Not with the units I like to use at least. Um, so I don't have any great Sizz spell or breath and Zam.
Baramos for the win.
So anyway, um, I lost what I was going on about. But yeah, Queen Slime. Besides the fact that crack is kind of not great right now. What's the best crack damage right now?
KM.
Yeah, KM. KM doesn't really have range. He doesn't have enough range. Great Dragon is not irrelevant, but he's just basically doing AOE. He's not really hurting too much. I mean, you don't want to take that Ice Breath, but he's not knocking anything out with it. So
No, he's not killing
sometimes
anything.
that's not good enough. Um, so anyway, crack damage is pretty good right now. It is martial, which sucks, depending on who you're taking on. But the best thing about Queen Slime is honestly is that 20% charms chance on hit, which should double to things that are weak to charm. I have lost matches, or at least lost units to Queen Slime, which in on offense in arena, worthless. Like you don't want to plan on taking hits. A 20% chance of anything, you just ignore that. It doesn't matter a bit. A 20 to 40% chance to do something on your defense team, that obviously that unit's going to be doing other things too. A 40% chance to charm something in arena is fucking awesome. Or in GVG rather, GVG defense. So the fact that it's a beefy, quick unit because there's a lot of HP, a lot of agility, it's going to do good damage, and the fact that there's a 20 to 40% chance it's going to charm whatever hits it, yeah, awesome. I just wish I had the mats for it.
I don't either. I mean, I'm saving.
Yeah. I'm basically out of mats. I have like a couple right now, but yeah.
By the way, Exist, I'm glad to see that you're doing okay after everything you suffered through last week. He's holding up. He's a real trooper.
I don't know whether to I don't know whether to make light of it or not. I can't imagine that you could take anything that somebody like Nibs said to the heart. It was just like he was just trying to throw every hateful word that he could think of, which sounds awful, but like it's just so obvious that he was. It just came off as childish more than anything to me. But then again, I have a different outlook on things, so I don't want to trivialize anything.
Well, apparently Exist is
It's definitely terrible, but like, yeah, I hope, like, yeah, he's just a terrible person. That's all that I saw. Yeah. I hope that it's hard to be insulted by somebody that fucking damaged, however you want to put it.
AA says, but Pac says it's not Nib, so we must be wrong.
Yeah. Let's give Nibs the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. Look,
It's just like like I said before, like it seems so vile and not like I don't know. I don't know Nibs that well. Like it doesn't seem like something Nibs would say, like just the language of it. But also like why would somebody do that's like really over the board, over the line, and that's just a weird thing to do to frame somebody else.
I mean, the
Yeah.
only like thing I thought at some point was it was like maybe Pac set him up, and he got him to sell his account to this dude for like $100, because like they gained a lot out of
Oh.
that deal.
And plus we know it wasn't Nibs because are people still doing the black square thing?
I guess they
This
are.
is I don't know. I can't see it being Nibs. Like it just well, okay. It just doesn't seem like him, but I don't know him that well. It's just so weird, but it's just so weird that like I don't think somebody else would do it. Dude, the IP story does not hold up. The IP story is like from what I heard about it, um like why are you reaching out to Reddit? I don't I don't understand. This is one of those examples of you trying to give too many details and looking obviously guilty.
Yeah, that part doesn't make sense because you'd like need a subpoena and other things for them to go into like a full blown investigation and give out information. That part just doesn't. when I heard that, I was like, oh, now even I'm starting to have doubts.
Look, I've never accused Nibs of being stupid. Okay, I can get around an IP ban. Okay, it's pretty fucking easy, and I have, and I'm sure I will again in the future.
Yeah, the Reddit IP ban. That for you got past that.
Reddit, Discord's the same. When you get banned on Discord, it's an IP ban. So I think I think if you get an IP ban, all you have to do is like use your mobile Wi-Fi network or something like that. Make the account and join the Discord on that account. And then I don't think you have to worry about it at that point. As soon as you're in, I think it only checks the one time. And I think
Right,
it's the same on Reddit
it's an
too.
initial. It's an
Yeah, it's just an
initial
initial check. Yeah.
That's still a fair point. I mean, that whole if it wasn't for that whole thing where he sent me that last DM about saying about carbon monoxide in my house, and then that happens hours later or a day later, that's weird. The whole thing is just fucking weird.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know whether to make a big deal about it or not. I'm not as in on it as other people. Like I said, that's on. It's just something that is not an
I mean,
issue.
the real
that
winner
I deal with.
in
I
this
don't
whole
wanna,
thing is Element. Let's be honest.
yeah,
Element's
I
the
don't
real
want to
winner here.
trivialize it or blow it up. Is what I mean, I guess. So.
Because at the end of the day, somebody did it. I don't know who the fuck it is. I can't say 100% certain, and I can't say 0%. I can't rule anybody
Nothing
out.
quite lines up from is what yeah. It's very weird.
But
So.
people gained a lot out of this. Some people gained, well,
I know,
one
yeah.
guild gained a pretty powerful account.
AW won. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean they got Nib's account without Nibs. I'm sure Nib is very good in PvP, but like dude,
They got it without the bitching and the complaining and all the other stuff. They don't have that.
yeah, I was there. I was hanging out in this. I don't know if he remembers. I was there where I just like, dude, it literally brought Kage and I together. Because Kage just messaged me. He's like, I can't fucking believe this. This is when we were mortal enemies. It's like, dude, I can't believe like that we're just watching like Nibs is just standing on Pac's dick for an hour straight, telling him that he's a fucking idiot. Dude, I would kick anybody out of my guild. Well, I would beg Jen too. Jen's the leader. But I would be like, dude, get this fucker out of here ASAP. I don't care if they won all of their matches 160 points. Although apparently he wasn't really that high on the report card, so who cares?
Right, he was on the lower end of it.
Sorry, I know that's a button.
It's all your
yeah,
fault.
like-
Exist.
No, I would have been kicked like in a heartbeat because I know Jen would go the same way with me on that. Yeah, so like that's why I just can't not make fun of Nibs sometimes. Like about like the 5 minutes that he and I talked in the past in that one podcast episode, we didn't have that many interactions. That ego and the ability to continuously and regularly insult your teammates and leader that much, it's disgusting. Get counseling, man.
And the part that
that's
really...
that's not me trying to insult you. Get counseling, get drugs. Fuck, man, do some illegal drugs or something. Just you gotta fix something, bro. That is not normal.
Because I think at the end of the day, I mean, I hope he doesn't do this, but I just see him falling into another game and spending a whole bunch of money and just not focusing on himself and his family. And, I really hope if that's him watching, dude, you were a really great friend, but you went off the deep end at some point. Like, I don't know if it was a competition. I don't know if it was joining AW. Something snapped in you and just, I don't know, focus on you. Stay away from these games. Play games like the ones you make. They may not be the best things out there, but they're not cheating people out of their money. And just stick to that. And to be fair, what really broke the straw for me was the fact that you gave up on this guild within like 24 hours. So that lack of conviction, I was like, motherfucker, you told me about how you ran a guild in Lost Ark and you gave up on this in 24 hours. You could have made something fucking work. Lost Ark is super fucking competitive. There's trying to find good players is a pain in the ass. I mean, I still talk to people in final in my sub guild who run a Lost Ark guild over there, and it's competitive. And it's like you were running that, and then you gave up here. I mean, I don't know. Like I've had to like coach my guys in the sub guild on like recruiting and other things, and giving them some alternatives because they didn't think outside the box. And I was like, oh yeah, try this, this, and this, and then they started filling up one of the guilds. So yeah.
Well, that's the thing, Nibs. It was impossible. We're just kind of surprised. I guess you hadn't tried to run your own guild before, but like, yeah, I don't know if you're paying attention to recruiting. Like, dude, I can't even get my secondary guild filled up. Like, there's like 500 players in this game. You guys know I like to exaggerate, but like, the numbers aren't that crazy much bigger. Like, serious players, not that many serious players.
I think he missed the mark. If he had done it a month earlier, I think he probably could have filled up the guild better when the anniversary hit, when there was a lot of engagement.
Oh yeah,
I think he would have had a better chance. But it just didn't. It seemed like impulsion. It was like an impulsive move to happen now. Or if you waited for 2.0 and did it, probably would have had a lot more luck. But I don't know. It just seems like you were going to kill people in that guild if you had to spend another 6 months with those fuckers.
yeah. Oh, and I especially I've brought this up a few times. The part where you offered to be the fountain of knowledge for DQT for guild members, more so than any video guides available. Which the guide system in this game is obviously like very whatever it's lacking. Although we do appreciate whoever puts out anything, even if it doesn't help particular players. But like, yeah, like you literally like declared yourself like the fountain of knowledge, and DQT is how I remember it.
Him and Jax.
Yeah, and it was just like, dude, it was everything compounded. Like, you screwed over AW. Well, that's AW's fault, problem. Like, you know, yeah, it's a little hard for them to fill a spot right now, but also AW probably gets plenty applicants. Okay, so you took one of theirs. So you took yourself and one other from AW, and one from Kage, which I would imagine people leave Kage all the time from getting tired of his shit.
Yeah, I had somebody lined up anyway.
I'm kind of kidding,
No, you're
mostly. But yeah, like the idea that you thought you were gonna get 7 other people within basically 2 weeks. 2 weeks you got till GVG starts. Like, dude, I had to bring people from Chasers to get CG13 into the first CG13. And that's just like to qualify. Yeah, dude, your ego is out of control, and that's not like not just having an ego, like it's so crazy out of control. You really like, God, man, you really got to talk to a counselor or balance your chemicals or whatever. I don't know. Get drunk and do some lines or something. Fuck, I don't know. That's probably not good advice.
No, that's not great advice. But there's not a lot of great guild leaders in this game. I mean, nobody's going to say that AW has good leadership. After the Hutch thing, still to this day, 3 leaders for 17 people is a recipe for fucking disaster. It is what it is. Apparently, Chuki doesn't have great leadership either. He's Mr. I'm just going to go grab some AA batteries from the whatever fuck guild. And
from my mom's vibrator.
Yeah, from his dad's vibrator, and he'll just come back over, you know? It's like, what the fuck?
Be like, my mom's vibrator takes C's, thank you, idiot.
Yeah. Mr. Respect.
Oh my god, that... I don't know, it was like, Pac said he was crying on video with him, and then he said it was like fake crying. I don't know which one's worse.
I mean, that guy will just send you, like, I had to, like, literally tell him, because he was writing something to me one time, I'm like, please, don't send me a paragraph, I don't care one way or another. And he still sent me a paragraph anyway, and I'm like, you motherfucker.
Where did, sorry, since we got Nib is the main attraction tonight, basically, well, the main topic. He said that he tried to leave Arena Watch honorably. He left before the end of the month, right? Where did Pac, where did you guys finish on CP placement? Didn't that knock you down? Because if they leave before the month.
No, that was Game Vision, and then we found out something interesting because again,
Oh, okay.
Game Vision is borderline retarded. He's a great guy. Borderline retarded is what it is. He didn't mean to do it, but we found out that from JM, since he rejoined, we got the points back and we still made top 30. So I found out something that
Oh.
day. So I was like, "Oh,
Well, that's
cool.
good to know.
I didn't know. I had no idea."
Oh, how could you? Yeah.
Right, no, but JM knew because apparently somebody on the Chinese group, I don't know, maybe he accidentally left the guild and he lost social credit points, so he had to rejoin, and it worked out.
And yeah, I know that you did great in GVG and all that, and the stamina, which, you guys there probably care about being like top 10 or 20 stamina, but like, what would anything above 30, like 30 to 100 is all 1250 gems, right? And then you can't be below 500, basically. Being under 500 CP placement is just having your own guild with one person in it. But it was like everybody knew that like you were having hour-long rants basically nightly with Pac, telling him how fucking stupid he was. That your mostly free-to-play whales didn't beat the equally dedicated AW is what, like a quarter, a third whale? I'm just pulling these numbers out of my ass. I don't know. Like at least half of them are free
So
to
let's
play
see,
or
you
close
got
to it, right?
Meta, you had Nibs, you had Aces. Trying to think who else was a pretty big.
Like their selling point is
whale.
that they stay up all night dreaming and jerking off to PvP videos and info and stuff like that. And then Starfall does the same thing, and they're literally all giant whales, right?
Right, you can't be. I mean, JM
Like,
got
it's
locked out of
literally,
the
like,
game for 19
statistically ridiculous
days,
to-
and he's still spending on the game. So you can't deter these people. They've got dedication to where you could literally just execute this man's family, told him Square did it, and he'll still give him $10,000 tomorrow.
Yeah. So it's been what, twice that AW took on Starfall, right? And they're 1-1.
Three times. They
Okay, so they're 1-2.
Yeah, they lost 2-1-1.
The fact that they beat them one time, just out of 3, it's not like they have a streak of being beaten. Like
pretty
they're
good.
1-3. One of them had to win twice. One of them had to lose once. Well, not had to, but so far, I mean, it's basically a split almost. That's honestly pretty, like, based on those metrics, like the fact that one's whales and one's not. That's fucking amazing. And I think these newer units, getting these, like, we've gone through obviously another tier of power creep, and I think it's a significant one. Now you're taking on 5 heart, Sorrows. He feels old now at this point, but yeah, you got 5 heart Sorrow, 5 heart Diamond Slime, who's just like ridiculous to take down apparently. There's just a whole bunch of amazing shit that you got to take on, and these units are getting more defensive and things like that. So thinking that you should be able to consistently beat a team that is literally better than you, like the same amount of dedication but with better teams. Yeah. That's so crazy.
I mean, I don't care how much time you spend on things. If they have more power and they have the knowledge, your chances of winning are still, it's math at the end of the day. It's like, well, are you relying on like a lucky crit? Are you relying on a status ailment at this point, or for them to have some sort of sloppy placement?
Oh my god, do we really light up the pot here? Based on the
Oh yeah.
true or not true exist messages, maybe it's because Starfall is not white.
Oof. Well, I mean, he married
It's
somebody
Ooh.
who's Filipino,
I don't know.
so I don't know about that one. He's got no problem with the yellows.
Can we say that?
I could say that. I could say he's got no problem with the yellows. I don't know if you can.
It can't be ruled out that, maybe that's the problem, is like, if he was the one that messaged exist, the fact that Starfall is Asian might be why he couldn't handle losing to him.
Jesus Christ. Oh, it's like calling the pot an African American.
Stir. But as funny as we're trying to make it, I mean, I don't know, it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Nothing.
Good enough
Not
to
in
make
this game.
CNN.
not in this game. And then to do what's called pack tracking, to go back, I'm a good guild leader not because of an exploit, because I get people to listen to me and follow commands and orders. I mean, sure, I'm cheating the system to do well, but I'm running 3 guilds and I don't have incidents like you guys had in the past with Hutch and shit like that. I don't, because there's called communication. I let people know if I was going to kick somebody or if somebody's going to be replaced, I would tell them well in advance. I would take that risk. Sure, they could fuck us on the stam or the gems. It could happen, but
No.
I don't mind.
By the way, Phil, that's not a fair offer because I know that you've got $100 in hand right now to throw away. So, you know, I don't have that
he's
kind of
getting
big
that
money
paid
to throw away on
in
things.
installments right now. I think he's getting like
Oh.
$20 a month or something from Elemental, because like he's like Trop. He's super poor.
Just not going to touch that. I like Trop, so I don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to dislike about Trop except for the fact he doesn't have money.
Man, he'd be such a cool guy if he wasn't a fucking broke piece of shit.
Yeah, he's on like the poverty line. God.
I don't want to go along with this, but just the image of playing DQT like in the bread line, because that's still a thing.
I'm gonna go play Dragon Quest Tag in the soup kitchen, real time arena style.
No, I
Shit.
don't. I love Trop. By the way, you know, I always say you don't do Prime, do you? If you guys have Prime Gaming, make sure you guys go over to Tropical's Twitch account and give him your Prime sub, because it literally costs you nothing. So help Trop out, because
He needs it. He needs all the help he can get.
dude, I mean, look, DQT content isn't that exhilarating, but I mean, there's me, Kage, and Pack for the most part, and none of us are that interesting. So
Nah,
maybe-
I'm
maybe
not looking
Trop
to
is.
make some. Well, Trop doesn't have a personality either. I mean, I don't know if he lost his personality, if he had to sell it at one point to to make ends meet. I'm not sure.
anyway, you can support one of your fellow community members out there right now by going and using your Twitch Prime sub on his account, because most people just let it go to waste. You know, help Trop out. Makes them look better. I think it gives them like $1 or $2.
Which he could definitely use, because I mean he doesn't know where his next meal's coming from. So as Chase said, a prime a day can keep Trop from going hungry.
And you can do that every day too. Or Mad Guru too. I've never talked to Mad Guru, but Mad Guru is primarily on Twitch
Tukey
too. So
really fucked
if you
him
hate
over.
Trop's guts, go. I can understand hating Tropical, of course. If you hate Tropical
If
guts,
you hate Tropical's
support
lack of
Mad.
personality, you could always give to Mad Garu, who literally was dealing with a family member with cancer and got kicked out of Tukey's guild.
Who was?
Mad Garu, like he had like
I didn't know he was in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't keep up with Mad. I know. Okay, I think he's he's a little bit weird in his videos, and they're very dry. But like my favorite podcast of what was it, Lolly and Platt together, was when they talked to him. Like, he is very knowledgeable about the game. His videos are pretty dry.
I liked when he actually lit up once. I think he was like trying to get S-Stark or another unit, and you would just see that he was like really sad and depressed, and then he finally pulled the unit, and you saw more emotion out of him than Trop in 18 hours. Like, he just lit up. He was so excited, and I'm like, you poor gambling bastard, you.
Well, it's so sad when in-game stuff affects you outside. Dude, I'm not gonna say it ruined my week or anything, but like I was a little sad the night that I spent. I think at the time I had to come back. I had to earn more gems to go to Pity. I spent like 39,000 gems and didn't get CGM.
Meanwhile, I got
and knew that I blew my
two
entire load.
off air. Like, I was just out with my wife and her friend, and we were getting some food together, and I'm like, let me just try and pull these, and I pulled 2, and I'm like, how many did Chase get? Chase got 0.
Fuck you. I'm always so. I think they know that I'm joking. I'm mostly joking. Whenever anybody has good luck after I have bad, I'm like, you shut the fuck up. Get out of here.
And now I'm trying to get one more just to spite you.
One of the new players in my Discord, I don't know if he knows how deadpan I am, and also it's very hard to tell online. I should be less of an asshole, but he's like, yeah, that DQ3 guy, what's his name, like Erdris or something. I'm like, you get the fuck out of my Discord until you Google who the hero from DQ3 is, okay? I will not abide that shit here.
I think he took
I
it
was halfway
seriously.
serious on that one. How do you... Erdrick. He's the Luminary, the OG. He's the main character of
We gotta
the
remember some
entire
of these
first trilogy and
some
kind
of
of
these people
11.
playing are like children who don't know any of these things. They're like Kirby. Like
I'm kidding. I wasn't mad, but
you were just disappointed in him, and
I was
you have every
disappointed.
right to be disappointed in the younger generation. They're a bunch of
And I
fucktards.
love making bad jokes too. But yeah, no, I hate hearing that people are luckier than me. I'm not the bigger person. Well, I usually am the bigger person, but yeah, I'm still a
Well,
child.
I mean, if you ever want to, you can get on Reddit and give him a 3-paragraph piece of your mind.
I don't know what skin color they are, so it wouldn't really help.
God bless this community. I love all you guys. You guys always keep me entertained.
They're not terribly woke. I do appreciate that. We can make jokes about social disorders and we can mention race, but I'm going to try to stay light on that.
Insane made the background for the podcast. I haven't asked him to change it because he hates Chase, and well, that's not a small amount of people.
What's funny is if I were to pick any Dragon Quest character to have as my icon or whatever, I love the Golem.
Well, apparently the Golem, he's at a rally right now.
Yeah, although I mean, like in game, I always use the Dragon Lord. But Dragon Lord and Golem. I do love the Guardian of Caitlin. But also, I mean, I don't know. I wish the Dragon Lord were like almost like recurring in the Dragon Quest series somehow. I don't know. I just love anything from Dragon Warrior basically. And I want them to have not Dragon Quest. I want them to have Dragon Warrior spell names used in something. I want some new Dragon Quest game to have a hero that uses Hurt more again. You know.
I just don't see that happening.
I know. I just for anybody that didn't play it, there was one damage spell basically. It was Hurt and Hurt more. There was no element, and then you had Heal and Heal more. I think they kept that for the first 2 or 3 games on
And
the
then
NES.
they went away with it. It might be because of like a translation error or something. I have to go back and look at the trivia for it and see. Because those are some very weird names for spells when Final Fantasy wasn't doing anything like that.
Well, what I really hate is like I guess like the Game Boy era, where they had another entirely different set of names. Like things would be Firebane and Explodette, and I think different heal names. I can't remember. I think they still just called it Heal and still just be like Heal and Heal Us All. I think they actually kept that through the remakes, but like they had another set of spell names in the Game Boy Color games and stuff. So it's confusing to go back through time because I think they were always the same in Japan, but I can't be sure.
I have no idea. I mean, I just know that they had a bunch of different teams working on these games. They had one division for translation on the Game Boy. They definitely had a different translation division for the home consoles. So you would see games where the names would be vastly different depending on if you played on a handheld or on a home console, which that was common. But not in Japan, though. Apparently Japan kept everything the fucking same for the most part, from what I know.
By the way, I was just reading back up through comments. Thank you, AA, for insinuating that I may be the bigger man, in a different kind of way, available only on OnlyFans. I will let any rumors like that fly. Thank you. You can spread that around.
But you can't say that he has a racist penis, because he'll get canceled.
God, you just have no filter.
No.
It sounds like some kind of like new sounds like a Family Guy cutaway of racist penis. Oh my god,
I mean, what would you draw a swastika on somebody's dick? How would that work?
So anyway, and then the Bride's Blossom this month.
Yeah,
That's going to be exciting.
yeah, it's gonna be exciting too.
I don't know. So I don't know where you are at Bride's Awakenings, Are you familiar with the bride banner that JP got? It's 5 stamps, guaranteed S on 1 and 3, and then the 5 gives you a ticket to pick a bride. Do that for 15,000 gems.
I'm at the point where I don't expect to get anything from JP anymore after what happened with the 50 Scout, so I'm very like fucking pessimistic
Yeah.
on the whole damn thing. But let me see where my brides actually are in Awakenings. I'm
Yeah.
curious.
But if there are any new players, I don't think this is like a totally new player. It's not. Well, it's not against new play. This is not really a podcast for new people necessarily, although they're very welcome. But anyway, if any new players are watching, um, the DQ5 event when that comes out, it will have the free bride. They called it the Ring of Water, I believe. For anybody that started after DQ5, a free bride item is still in there. Now, if you already completed all of that, it doesn't refresh. But yeah, new players and players that started after DQ5, you still get a tier. You still get a free waifu.
So if I was them, I would wait to see if you're going to do the 1500 if it's there, 15,000,
Yeah.
and just work on one unit instead of trying to get all three because
Yeah.
there's no point having all three. You're better off just building up one strong unit.
Yeah, and Bianca is Game Vision points out. Bianca is tier 1. She is. I saw one tier list. We all know how important tier lists are.
Oh
Sometimes
God.
they're not to be discarded, but they can be wrong. But the last one put Deborah maybe above Bianca. I'm not sure, but like I don't like Deborah's at all. Nero would be good if her new ability was anything other than Bang type because everything has Bang.
I mean, I have Nero to
Um,
awaken too, so I may awaken her or blossom her because the other two are just awaken one, and I left them at S4. I didn't even fucking bother with them.
oh, well. Anyway, I was gonna say I think Bianca is clearly the best. So if you have a choice between like if you're a newer player or didn't do DQ5, if you have the choice of two Biancas, like if that banner does come back, or like maybe you have one copy of Bianca or whatever, use that ring on Bianca. Make sure Bianca gets her first awakening because it's move 3, which is basically mandatory if you actually want to use Bianca. Um, but yeah, Bianca's going to be she's going to have an AOE multi-hit move, so that's very useful. I believe she's not ridiculously fast, but she is high agility.
And she'll be
I
into the
don't think her
counter
attack is
Zoro.
I don't think her attack is amazing, but it's good enough with an AOE attack that big. So, you know, like something like with Zenlon coming up, like she won't take out Zenlon, but she'll take his shield off and do a good amount of damage to it. She can finish off things Zaro if he's already been knocked down, or something. I doubt she'd be able to one shot Zaro. He is weak to Zap. But if you already put a hit on Zaro, she'll definitely finish him off. I'm sure.
It's like we get new players once in a while, and then they see what's going on and quietly quit.
Oh yeah, no, I just mean like this podcast. Like it's, I mean, there might be one or two, but like, no, this is more for like the OGs. I think
You're like day one people.
not necessarily by design, but just like this episode especially is almost entirely community drama. So
Yeah, like nobody's gonna know about what happened in Exist DMs on Reddit or Pack not
Who-
giving you back your account and letting it rot in the fucking sewer. Nobody's gonna know about any of that stuff.
But yeah, they'll be like, "Who the fuck is Nibs, and why are they talking to this Phil guy?"
Yeah, who the fuck's Phil?
Yeah. Can I still join Game Bangers? Oh my god. Man, is he still on Discord? I just want to know like a bunch of people like the day after the sale of the account. They're like, "Hey, I'm up for Game Bangers." Yeah, I spend $10,000 a month, and I've been playing since day one. Yeah. Me and my 8 whale friends want to join your new guild.
Meanwhile, it cracks me up because people focus a lot on CP in this game, and I'm like laughing to myself when people put a CP limit when they're looking for competitive. I'm just looking for dedicated players, but I've seen 250k CP people from Southeast Asia kick somebody with 1,000,000 CP's ass. I've watched that happen from the last bracket. I mean, your guys got beaten up by those noobs as well. Well, not noobs, but I call them Smurfs. And it's
Yeah.
like, those type of people, they're the exception to the rule. Because I wouldn't get somebody under 900k CP who's, because potentially they'll quit. They're not dedicated. But for somebody to come back around, and be like surgical with how they're using their free gems and setting up GVG teams and being able to like 160 or 150 with a count that's like a month and a half old, that's something to be said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. Like, you're so far behind as a new player, but if you throw money at it, like with the strength of the new units and what you can buy in this game, it's not like you can fill your whole box. It's not like you can get 1,000,000 CP in like 2 or 3 months, but you can put up a fucking killer PvP team.
Oh,
You
you
can
can
look like
if
the
you went
whale.
hard on a couple of units, like just with what's coming up with a new account and taking your free to play gems and throwing in some money on top of it, you could be really dangerous in this game. Anybody could.
Oh yeah,
Except
and like
except drop an element they can't afford to.
I don't. It is 5i9M. Is that somebody whose name I would know in the community? I don't know that many
That's
people. But
Mitch. He's a Chinese guy. He basically is the reason why I own Kirby's sub guild now. So you may or may
well,
not know him.
I think he'll be safe here. Nibs left, so anyway, yeah, like I like his comment. It's very obvious, but like when you're in a whale, you don't need to choose, and that is so relevant right now because we used to only have 2 or 3 banners a month, and now it's like there's 1 or 2 banners a week. They slowed down a little bit this month. Like DQ9 was nasty, but it's like, I bet some people get tired of me saying this. It's like, what do you choose to skip? Like nothing is like a must skip. There's definitely tiers better than others, obviously, but like
I think it
nothing.
just boils down to if you have to really do it, do you have stuff in your box that would be negligible to help you out and get you by? And some of these
There's
units, it's very hard to say if there's a yes or no because of how good they're going to be. It's fucking tough.
I don't think there's anything that's coming up that you wouldn't like. Not that you're going to be devastated without. That's any unit. Like you can survive without any big units. But well, I'm not saying that right. But there's nothing that you wouldn't wish you had in your box coming up. Nobody gave a shit about EKM or whatever. But like literally everything in the future is something that's like, oh wow, that's great. Like mass AOE, another 50, a 50-point indomitable spirit unit. Breath. Enough said. All of the anniversary, all the DQ3 stuff, obviously. Just Summer Jessica, she looks at something and it's charmed. Seraphine might be Seraphine's probably really good. I don't know what she's going to look like, but Seraphine might be the first, like, average unit. But it's Seraphine, so she's probably stupid strong.
So and that's a ton of units, and you magnify that by you look at a free to play, how many gems they're going to have. Is a free to play going to be able to pick 5 of these banner units out of thin air, just like pick them out of there? No. Are they going to get maybe 1 or 2? Yeah.
Yeah, and I've beaten this like dead horse all night, but like, like if you happen to have a stockpile of gems and you go after something, you get it. That's great, but like, you really can't summon on anything unless you are willing to go to pity. You don't have to spend 45,000 gems. But like, if you go in, you have to go until you get it, basically.
Yeah, otherwise it's just you've wasted those gems. Kind of like
that's
how
at least
your account's
the
going to
mindset
waste.
you have to have. So yes, of course it's possible to have like 50,000 gems right now. I know that's a fair amount of people. You can have 50,000 gems and it's possible to get everything. But it's statistically extremely unlikely. You need to get everything within 2 or 3 multis. And then you're still going to be out of gems before, like, well, before the anniversaries and celebrations and whatnot. By the way, I think we're probably not far from another, like, celebration type banner. I think they usually give us, like, 30,000 gems worth of celebration banner every 3 months, don't they?
Something like that. I mean, plus
in the
there's
spring it's
lottery
EQ
too.
Day. I think maybe it's not till like Thanksgiving, which would probably just might be like the end of October. Okay, so maybe we're We might be like a full month and a half, 2 months away from it, but
So what you're saying is
I
we're
don't
going to
know.
make it to Thanksgiving this year.
I would, they might have some kind of big celebration running with I just caught that with DQ3. I think there might be some big stuff running with DQ3, which would kind of suck because that's when you want to be doing the regular banners. But and I didn't say it would be after Thanksgiving. Okay, I said around Thanksgiving would be it. So they could definitely still declare they could announce the end of the game at Thanksgiving. So, haha, jokes on you, Kage.
Well, until Die goes down, I don't think any other game is going down. So when we see that game go down, then we'll start shitting our bricks here.
Thanks for I appreciate anybody that agrees with me. Game Vision, Game Vision doesn't have to make that choice. So I don't know. In a way, it's kind of fair that he can, look at the other end of it. It's like, yeah, there's nothing that he would want to skip. Like,
Right, he's just going to spend all that money, and it doesn't matter because he's got all the money in the world. So it's like, haha.
Carradine, again, this is somebody I'm not familiar with. I don't know if they're a big name or not. Thoughts, people saying Sage was a bit underwhelming. Sage is underwhelming in the view that it came after Erdrick and Zenlon. I know Pack is usually not one to hype up units too much, but he said at Awakening 5 she'd be scary, which matters to, 10 people. Dude, she gets an AoE spell. It's range 3x3 right in front of her. That is major crack and major frizz damage. Just like, no, I think it's Zam and Whoosh rather.
So it's
Sorry.
kind of like,
Anyway.
what was it? Flizzard with his dual elements and whatnot.
I don't think I have. I didn't play Die, but yeah. Yeah, it's dual elements. Just like it's not the same elements as Zenlon, but yeah, it's the same thing. I think it's Whoosh and Zam. So, and then a major Zam. It's in a huge 3x3 area. All I know is that it's major spell damage. I don't know what modifiers it has, and I wouldn't know what that would mean anyway, basically. But or I wouldn't want to figure it out. But things that are like it's two major spell hits. The chances of it resisting both are you're gonna knock out some of the things that you hit, and you're gonna at least fuck up everything that you hit. You might not kill it, but you're gonna fuck it up. So you do that, and then you run Nightclubber or even like one of the dragons with a fan breath next to it,
And they're
and
dead.
nothing's gonna survive. Like CGM for example. You put CGI next to her. You got a neutral breath attack that's gonna do 4, 5, 600 damage. I don't know what it does. She's gonna deal like half to 2/3 of their life bar at least. I'm sure. And that's pretty fucking powerful. Because I brought it up with Kage before. Like, dude, look at this unit. Like, look at it, the coup de grace. That's not a coup de grace. It's turn 1. I assumed that 3x3 dual element spell was her coup de grace. For some reason, she doesn't have one. She's just fucking broken. Well, not broken, but
Not
like
broken, but I mean, she's got. She doesn't have to wait several turns to wind up.
6 months ago, Sage would have made us shit our pants. Are you fucking kidding? That's the most broken thing ever. Now she's the third best unit on the banner or in the
So
event.
I guess she's underwhelming compared to Erdrick and Zenlon. That's about
Yeah,
it
compared
though.
to the-
But she's still a really good unit.
Yeah. Sorry that we're not talking fast enough now, Parafusion. But yeah. Yeah, I know that the PvP geeks are super excited for Jamiris too. Obviously, Whoosh Breath is something that's very strong. Whoosh doesn't like Breath. I don't know what kind of damage new Breath attacks are going to do. I think it depends because he's getting a lot of boosts. I don't know what the modifiers on the attack are, but Whoosh is pretty lacking right now, and Breath is just the best damage type. That's what I was getting to before. Like, it doesn't always do the most damage, but it's clearly the best type of damage. It can't miss. It can't crit, but it can't miss. And what is reducing breath damage right now? Nothing really reduces. There's a few things. Nothing relevant resists breath damage right now, as far as I know. Maybe one or two new things. I think there might be something, but it's pretty rare. So, yeah, and Jamiris will also keep you safe from other Jamirises for the most part. You give everybody that starts off around him Whoosh force. So yeah, just broken shit all around.
Yep, that's what we're going to be looking forward to next 6 months going forward.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt you. Uh, people always say that I'm overreacting about Zenlon, and maybe I'm just beating a dead horse. But like, I just want to counter that. Like, people are like, "Well, you do this and this," and I'm like, "Yeah, but you're talking about 2 units here because you can't let Zenlon attack. It's just like Sorrow. You can't let Sorrow use Crimson Cuts. He's gonna kill something, or do like 80-90% of its health bar. It's very strong. Assuming you're scrubs like me that use like art units, 90% of the player base on attack. So when you say like all you've got to do is just stun him and then get through his shield, or like get through his shield with one unit and then attack him with another strong unit, I'm like, great, yes, 2 or 3 of those actions can neutralize him or kill him the first round. But there's also like a whole other team to deal with.
Yeah, you
So
have
what do you
4
do when
other
you're-
units or 3 other units on the opposing team that may or may not even interrupt you from doing that.
Yeah. So now you've got Sorrow, who is not as big of a threat, but still big enough. Sorrow's still amazing on JP. It's not like Nocturnus where like evasion units came out and nobody gave a shit about Nocturnus anymore. But like, yeah, so you've got Sorrow and what's his name? Sorrow and they can be on the same team. Hargan's going to be pretty common. Okay, he does big damage. And dude, we talked about him before. He's got a pretty decent amount of HP. He's got Dark Robe, so you're taking 20% off everything that he does. And then the first 3 times you bring him below 50% health, he's gonna heal back. He's gonna heal 50% of his max HP. That's pretty fucking hard to deal with too. That's 3 units that are each going to take 1, 2, 3 actions apiece to neutralize or kill them. And that's another thing. Don't underestimate the value of Durin. He's a 50-point unit. He might not be a god, but he's going to be a decent unit that, again, cannot be one-shot. Anything would, well, okay, except for multi-hit units. I don't know what Durin's weak to. I'm not going to look it up, but, like, Durin is another thing that's going to need to be dealt with turn 1. Because my way of playing Arena is you basically can't take hits. It's too easy to be one-shot, so. Anyway, sorry for the long rant. Anyway, there's just multiple units that are all going to need like their own strategy to take down, and you can put all those units on one team.
And it's at a point where, you know what, the landscape for GVG is going to change in the next 6 months. Will it be easier or harder to deal with these teams? Will people lose more points because of all these abilities, or will the player base find a way to circumvent everything and take these people out? Potentially. But what I can say is, if you don't have any of these new units and you're trying to use, like, a trop strategy, the poor man's method to take them out, I don't think that's going to go very well for you. Unlike before, where you could still kind of circumvent, you could think outside, you could do some of these things. Yeah, maybe you could neutralize Zenlon with 3 actions, maybe 2. Well, if this team has a bunch of new units that are severely powered and you don't, you're fucked. That's the story. That's the story at the end of the day. You're going to need to pull. You're going to need to, potentially find 2 or 3 units that synergize well with your box, and that's the best play. Because I don't think anybody who's free to play or a Dolphin is going to be able to get all of these new units to like Awakening 1 to 3. That's not realistic. You're going to spend a lot of money. So
Awakening 1 is not the given that it used to be. You used to consider Awakening 1 as a given because you'd get like 1 Dark Lord a month or so. And now we're getting like, the upcoming units are Dark Lords. Or no, sorry. Heroes or something. I don't know. There's a lot of new units coming. They're all good. And I think it's like fragments are slowing down. You have to jump through hoops to get your frags now. So
it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Oh, I've mentioned this in my own videos. Guys, be careful in dreams. I always spend all my orbs. It's really bad. I know some people save. Do not expect orbs this month, okay? Because the dream event is DQ9 again. Okay, so you're gonna get 1 orb in the coin shop, and then the other 3 orbs. I think it's 3 of. It's at least 3. They're in the fig shop. It's it's like dream pearls or whatever. I'm
Oh
just gonna call them
fuck.
figs. Yeah. So you have to choose figs over. You have to choose orbs over frags. And here's the thing: I'll probably buy the orb for 10 just because I want orbs. But I think honestly, I think it's you can argue that 10 frags is better than one orb. At least in the long run. In the long run, it's better to get frags. I can't help myself. I'll get the orb for 10, but I think it's like 10 for the first one, 15 for the second, and for the third. Um, yeah. So anyway, they're going to consider that like the orbs. I don't think that there are other orbs hidden in the event, but it might be hard to tell from the database. But
And I don't remember
yeah,
if there was anything extra. I mean, I just know with the frags, I went and I got enough frags to want to awaken Zaro. Like, I got Zaro, and I was like, well,
yeah,
I skipped the orbs because I had some extra ones, but I wasn't going to keep pulling to try and get another Zaro. That's crazy. I didn't have the gems for it, so I had to, like, sacrifice and just get the frigs for the shards. Frigs are the
um,
DQ9 equivalent for the Dream event. It's going to be something similar to them in terms of their rarity and their turn-in rate.
although the nice thing about the Dream event is it does have some pretty nice A units in it. There's going to be 3 of them. Um, on the plus side though, other than the C rank golem that I mentioned, nothing is worth farming from there. Um, there is a B rank that has the same breath attack as a Stark, but I don't think it's really that big a deal. I could be wrong though. I know a lot of arena players have really gotten use out of those B ranks that have the T shape attacks,
Mm-hmm.
the breath attacks. But Oh yeah, so orbs though. Yeah, Pack is saying that JP claims they have an orb shortage. Um, I don't think that the 2-year anniversary probably gave out a few orbs, but we're not going to get DQ3 with the 2 year. So besides the 3 banner units during DQ3, they had 2 free to play S ranks. So they might give out 1 or 2 extra orbs in DQ3, but like they never. As far as I know, outside of Die, I believe. I don't know what Die was like. I know they gave you orbs. I think they were easy to get. Um, they don't usually give us extra orbs for having free to play S
Oh,
ranks,
they
and
give
now
us
there's
a
2
ton.
of them.
They gave us a ton with die, and I just kind of wish they let us do a reverse change with them and just take the die orbs and make them into normal ones because they're just gonna sit there
That would be
like your
too
account
cool. Yeah.
and just rot.
Um, yeah, and it's I dude just been there so many. I made this argument. There, yes, resource allocation and scarcity can be fun, but it gets a little old and like I'm sorry, this isn't like month 4 when you can argue like I get plenty of use out of my S4 units. Dude, if you go into a new event without any orbs and you get all 3 banner units or all 4 banner units, you can't use them. You can only use 1 or 2 of them. You literally can't use the units that you paid for. So, say most
That
orbs
way,
give us what? Most events give us 4 orbs. So, if there's 4 or even 5 banner units, okay, you get 4 of them. Okay, you can maybe buy 1 or 2 or you can usually buy 2 orbs. So, even if you spend another like 50, $60 on orbs, which is fucking stupid, you still can only use 3 of your new units. You know, it, it just doesn't seem like a good decision to me. Um, I don't know. There's so many. I don't know. It's just weird that you cannot use a unit that you just paid for.
I mean, you can get the orbs if you're a new player. You have to go back to the reminiscence and do all this other stuff. But if you're somebody who's coming in late and you get a bunch of S rank units out of the anniversary, and you level up the ones you like, and then you get some really powerful ones, and you don't have the orbs, you're fucked.
Hmm.
It's not like the old days where you could. I mean, we were ahead in the account at one point because I would even buy the orb pack. I would get the 30, the extra orb here and there, and I would be ahead just to have them and keep
Mhm.
extras on hand because they were important. But for
Yeah.
somebody new, I mean, I can't imagine getting like 10 S rank units and then being like, well, I only have like 4 orbs or 8 orbs. I could only use a couple of these units and unlock them to their maximum potential. Which ones do I fucking choose?
I mean, the fact that Artia has rank 4 S ranks, I mean, that's even the whales can't buy everything. You know.
No, even he's got some that he can't utilize, and maybe he skipped on some orbs, or maybe he didn't skip and he's still not having enough materials, which that's scary in itself.
Yeah, because there was a period where it felt like we were doing really well on orbs. I think around the 1 year, they threw a good amount at us, and it was before they started giving us 1 or 2 units a week. It's like, oh, okay, I'm good. And dude, I hate every time I see the rank 5 DKO on my box because I just don't hold on to orbs. I get them and I spend them. I'm trying to get better about that, but yeah, it's like, oh great, now I desperately need an orb for this unit, and then I just see that S5 DKO in my box.
And it's fucking useless. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here soon. I gotta go feed the
What?
pets. Yeah,
It's only been 2.5 hours.
only two. Well, yeah, I know, but I gotta make sure my pets get fed, and gotta give them sustenance. Unlike the old Chase Games account that doesn't get that anymore. I'm never gonna let that go. That's fucking funny. It's like, oh, we're saving. We might need it one day. Might use it. It's like, oh, do you have a use for it? It was yours. I mean, I don't know. I would give it back to him, but I can understand you guys fucking hate his guts and you don't want to do that. Fuck Chase, right?
Well, I am used to that.
Yeah, there you go. See, I'm the only real friend you got. At least I'll be a piece of shit to you to your face.
Oh my god, that's like a reason I jumped off the roof that I put on my suicide list. I found out my only friend was Kage.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna get in the crisis text on and help you out. I'd probably tell you to jump.
Fucking do it, pussy.
Yeah, go ahead. Nobody cares.
Yeah. All right. Well, bye YouTube.
Take care, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you again next week, potentially with less racism. I don't know. Take care.
No promises.